Hello everybody and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, I'm a D&D sex icon, and I'm back today with the full cast and crew of the Trials of Bhaal for yet another episode filled with murder and despair. So let's go around, let's figure out who we are and who we're playing today, and let's start with Chelsea, our Dungeon Master. Chelsea, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's a hot, buggy day here in Georgia. I'm sure it's going to start raining here shortly, so if you hear a thunderstorm, that's what's up. But yeah, I'm super stoked to be back. They screwed up a lot of stuff last week. So we're going to see what the repercussions are when, you know, you take the god of murder and kill his ego, his super ego, and his id.
Wow. You guys, wow, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I was going to say, we did it without you, Will. We fucked shit up without you.
You guys, but 1 week.
So much more progress.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, I'm really excited to be back as usual.
Great stuff. We also have with us Madame Gandalf tonight. Madame, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It was, I actually fly out from the country tonight, so it's really nice to say, like, okay, my bon voyage day, I woke up and played some Dungeons and Dragons, you know, it's not too hard a life, right?
That sounds good. That sounds good. And remind us who Ari is, because I know I forgot after a week being away.
Oh, yeah, Finbar would, wouldn't he? Ari is a self-involved, little obnoxious and selfish halfling rogue. And her main concern is herself and how is she going to get through these trials. And so she will even lazily make her way through it if she has to, but I'm excited to see where this will go, because right now she's just had the babies ripped out of her, I think, happened last week. Oh, no.
You're still pregnant. No, you're still
pregnant. I still have the pregnant, which is her worst nightmare, by the way. So this really is a trial. Oh, lordy.
Amazing. We also have with us the Celts tonight. How you doing, my friend? Oh, I think
there we go. I said I'm doing well, Will. How are the rest of you? How's everyone doing?
Yeah, doing good tonight. Doing good. Tell us about your character tonight. Who are you going to be playing?
So I'm actually playing Celts. He's a halfling rogue, arcane trickster. He actually was killed on one of the old viewer games, probably over a year ago. He was half dragon. So now he's found himself waking up in this weird murderous world.
Nice. Very cool, very cool. We also have with us the Odium Scribe tonight. How you doing, my friend?
Good.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. And tell us about your character, my friend.
His name is Denzel. He is a human variant warlock. And he has a pet cat that's not his familiar, but it's his pet cat. I don't know if you've seen the Google image of the Scottish Fold, where it's literally just a tiny ball of fur with Google eyes. He has that as his companion named Floof. That's basically he wears as a hat.
Amazing. Incredible. Great stuff. Can't wait to meet him. And last but not least, we have the Northeast Geek with us. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. How do you follow up that? I am playing Ethelstan, an Aasimar paladin of Selune. And this would be his first time waking up in this dark and dreary world. Failing in life, maybe he'll do better in death.
Great stuff. As for myself, I will be playing Finbar, the Bard. And if Ari was a little bit self-involved, Finbar makes up for it with the rest of the self-involved pie chart. He's actually forgotten who Ari is and everyone else is due to Bhaal's subjugations and tortures, and so he really is only concerned about getting himself out of here alive. He is incredibly beautiful on the outside and incredibly ugly on the inside. And after a brief transformation of that being the other way around, it seems like it's gone back to normal for Finbar, and Bhaal's just going to have to put up with it. So before we get started today, I remind you guys that we're sponsored by Fantasy Grounds. Go to fantasygrounds.com, our virtual tabletop of choice that we'll be playing with today. And if you guys want to play in Fantasy Grounds, you can come into our games. Here on the Trials of Bhaal, we'll be using Fantasy Grounds and rolling dice together. Also check out waylandgames.co.uk for all of your miniature needs. They also sell a huge range of D&D and other role-playing game books at up to 20% off the retail price, so definitely check those guys out. Of course, you guys can interact with today's show. If you haven't followed yet, hit the follow button and join us. When we hit 20 followers and 20 tweets on this tweet, you guys get to decide something which happens next in our game. Of course, in a place like this, the viewer decisions are never good. They involve demonic babies, demonic baby explosions, demonic baby pregnancies. So really, it's all on the cards, specifically when it comes to demonic babies. Also, you can donate to affect the game as well by giving players nat 1s, nat 20s, and wild magic surges. So have fun of it, my friends. And without any further ado, I'll hand over to Chelsea, our Dungeon Master, to take us into tonight's session.
Yeah. So it seems maybe rather important to cover a few things. So first off, these viewer decisions are actually what has led us to today's chaotic endeavors, and we'll get to that in a second. But for those of you maybe new to the Trials of Bhaal, this is a very special place that we are playing in. Yeah, blame me. That we're playing in. This is not just any dimension. This is not just any location. This is kind of a personal pocket dimension of Bhaal. Bhaal has a great giant history, which we can go into, but that's boring, right? But the long and short of it is he was killed long, long ago, and he was a mortal man. And when the god of murder gets bored, he has to kind of make his own way of murdering people because he can't get stronger unless he is actively murdering. So now he's got this pocket dimension where he collects the souls of all the adventurers that fail at their mission, the ones that aren't worthy of holding the title. And so here we are in this dimension. Now, a few things we've learned over the last few weeks torturing away in Bhaal's dimension is that he's willing to give you your mortal life back. In fact, you can work towards it, which I think is Finbar's biggest interest. But to do so, you have to participate in the horrific trials he puts you through to try to earn the right to claim the name of adventurer again. Now, last week, Bhaal put our crew in for something very, very different. He sent you to a dinner party. But unfortunately, when they arrived, the dinner party guests were sans their heads. So they had to scour this HH home-style mansion and find the heads of all 8 guests. They got 7 of the 8 heads, got to the attic, the very last room, and realized that the entirety of the attic itself, thanks to a viewer decision, was in fact Bhaal's head. It was Bhaal's head that they were inside of. And the last head, I can't make this shit up, gang. Bhaal's head was what they were standing in the attic. And when they got inside of Bhaal's head, they found boxes of his memories, gray matter, and of course, his id, his ego, and his superego. And the team made a quick and dirty decision that the best way to defeat Bhaal, of course, is to destroy his ego, his id, and his superego.
Of course.
1 second. I know. Wait, I'm hearing a strange banging. I want to make sure that that's not my door.
What happened then? Madame Gandalf?
Well, just a completely deflated ego. His head shrank smaller and smaller and smaller, and we placed it as the final place on the table.
Amazing.
True. Sorry about that. The pest control guy just literally came banging at my door. So that is where we're at. And when they destroyed the id, the ego, and the superego of Bhaal, what they didn't realize is that they actually ripped Bhaal apart. Bhaal, as we know him, is no more. They destroyed his subconscious. And so, the realm that you're in no longer has somebody maintaining or controlling it. You are literally lost in Bhaal's abyss.
Lost in the balls.
Lost in the balls. We are lost in the balls. Sorry. So, you guys are actually going to start now in this kind of empty dimension. Ari, you wake up after having been actually greeted by a manifestation of Bhaal at the end of the last game, congratulating you for completion, and then he quickly wanted to serve you as dinner, if I remember correctly, right? You were splayed out on the table, I think is where I walked in. And after you guys defeated the zombies that were trying to eat you, everything kind of went dark. And Ari, as you wake up, you roll over and you realize that you're wet. like everything that you're wearing is wet, and you're laying on kind of a marble-like concrete in about 2 inches of water. You look down and realize that your belly has once again grown a little bit. You can't see your feet anymore for your twin pregnant belly. And you look to your left, and there lays an also wet and drenched Finbar, who you haven't seen for a while.
She's just going to kind of scowl at him and ignore him.
You're that woman, aren't you? The one who was there before.
She continues poking at her belly. Yes, I am Finbar.
No, I'm Finbar. You're, Laurie. Laurie was your name, right?
You know, that's surprisingly close. I will give you points for that. Ari. An
intriguing name. Very well. What are we doing here? It's not often that I find myself the one being chained down.
Ari, you look to your right, hoping to see your more grounded half who has traveled with you, Derek, and he is, for the first time, nowhere to be found.
This is not reassuring.
He's like your mom buddy, your like other pregnant friend.
Yeah, your mom buddy who is like a male dwarf in armor wearing a Kaylee Fry dress over the top of it and using a lollipop as a hammer.
That's right.
He's the sane one. He was the sane one of our party.
And you look around, and as you kind of are searching for him, you realize that the space you're standing in is like a black abyss. It is as far as the eye can see. It is just black and darkness and kind of empty. The only light, you're not even sure where the light source is coming from. But you stand in a pretty hollow space with about 2 inches of water on the ground. You and Finbar, and you look with your little half-elf eyes way off in the distance. And you see 3 figures standing there. And they're probably 100 feet away or so. And it is, in fact, a halfling rogue, what may be an Asmir, and definitely a male human. Gentlemen, the 3 of you stand next to one another. You're not even sure how you got here. Your boots are soaking, if you're even wearing boots, in water, and you too look up and see 2 half-elves standing next to one another. One of them is very pregnant.
I know you. You're that musician. Yeah, I remember you from the last time. Where are we?
That's right, I am. I'm Finbar the Bard. I'm incredibly famous. And apparently tied down here with a pregnant woman, which is, I mean, talk about damaged goods, am I right? If you wouldn't mind getting me out of here, dear fellow, that would be greatly appreciated.
I still blame you for this, Ari says as she gets up.
Is he actually tied down, or is that figurative?
Definitely figurative. There are, in fact, no chains. All of you seem to have your clothing and your gear, right? Yeah, for the first time in Finbar's entire existence in this place, he's not chained to something.
I'm a free man.
He's chained to this better half, right? But like, no, in terms of like actually being physically chained, maybe it's that ghost feeling because he's worn chains for so long. Because I'll tell you what, Bhaal sure does enjoy torturing Finbar. He has put him through some horrific stuff.
Case of the ghost chain jitters again, I'm afraid. Stand back up again. Ari, I really don't think I'm responsible in any way for almost anything, but also specifically for this, I don't think we ever, banged.
If we hadn't followed you into the death that happened upon us, then this probably wouldn't have happened. So yeah, you're a little bit to blame right now.
Darling, a lot of people follow me around. This halfling here seems like another one. People just walk in my footsteps. If you died, and I have to say I don't recall at all you being there, that really is on you. Because when I died, it was marvelous. I killed a dragon when I did it.
Sure. Sure.
You keep telling yourself that, Nidbar.
The way they go back and forth, I swear they are a married couple. What do you think, Floof? And the warlock pets his cat that's sitting on his head.
Yeah, you guys see this human like petting this tough on the top of his head, talking to himself.
It's not the strangest thing I've seen.
I step away from him.
Yeah, you put some distance, and as you guys are kind of figuring each other out, you kind of close the gap between yourself. You're, like I said, you're kind of sloshing through this few inches of water. The floor underneath your feet is, in fact, very, very hard, but you see no exterior walls, no ceiling, just, like I said, this kind of abyss. And as you begin to close the gap to meet kind of in the middle, if you would, something begins to happen. In the air, kind of right in front of you, about 5 feet up from the ground, you start to see this like popping and crackling. And a giant tear, ethereal tear, rips open. And you can hear it still crackling and popping. It's kind of letting off bits of lightning as it rips the actual dimension you're in open. And the tear is about 3 foot tall. And you guys can very vividly see it. It lets off a very vibrant white light.
Goodness.
I'm gonna go towards the tear and just kind of stick like a finger in.
Oh, okay.
The old finger test.
The old finger.
That's an odd reaction.
So you walk over, Celts. You guys see the halfling rogue be brave and kind of walk up, and as you go to stick your finger into it, the energy, it's almost like a of energy lets off from it and almost knocks you backwards as the tear rips even taller and then dissipates into itself. But before it does so, right as you go to like touch it and it rips, drops something at your feet. A bundle of some sort.
I still have my finger. It didn't take my finger.
Actually, why don't you make a dex? Let's see if it takes the tip of your finger. Who knows? You may lose it.
Just a tip.
Just a tip.
Just the tip.
Oh, that was a D12. Or D10, I'm sorry, yeah. Roll your 20.
Is it? No, this.
I know, it's so weird. That happens all the time. They look so similar. There you go. Plus your dex, Mon.
Oh. I'm notorious for this.
I was about to say, I don't want you to lose the tip. Well, oh, okay, yeah, at an 18. Yeah, it's almost the like that boom that comes out. You realize that it's going to close up this whatever this tear is, and you manage to get your finger free just in time for something to like plop into the water at your feet. It's about this big, give or take, and it's kind of looks like just a bundle of fabric that's beginning to soak up the water, and then all of a sudden you begin to hear. As if there's a child wrapped up inside of it. And the sound of this child...
Why don't you get some practice in?
So I'm gonna...
I ain't going near nothing that isn't mine.
And I'm just gonna bend down and poke the bundle that just dropped.
It feels like a real soft baby.
I step
You
away.
do a lot of poking, don't you?
It's big on the
Still a lot of poking.
Quite. This thing's screaming, and it's some kind of bundle of cloth screaming, and just on principle, I don't deal with that. So someone's gonna have to deal with that, and I'm gonna step away from it.
Well, what about you? And I look towards the Aasimar. Maybe you're...
Yeah. Ethelston has been very quiet. He's just confused. He's been trailing behind these others, trying to figure everything else. And when the baby plops, he moves forward and kind of scoops it up.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, you're
There we
able to pick it
go.
up, no
There's
problem.
some fatherly instincts right there. We knew it. You knew it. You knew it, Finbar. It was always going to be the Aasimar.
So as you're kind of like, you scoop it up, no big deal, and you delicately hold it, and the fabric that's kind of wrapped around it falls away, and in fact you see the freshest little human baby face. Male, if you are interested, but it is a male baby, and it's just sitting there just wailing and crying, and its cries echo in this empty space.
He can't help himself. He has to smile at this child. And then he turns to the others and says, "It's just a baby. Why would there be a baby here?" Well,
I don't think that's just a baby. It popped out of that tear. That's not where babies come from.
Well,
he makes fair points.
It's greater than that. I don't know.
I have a lot to teach you, my friend.
Well, since you have the baby in your hand, why don't you roll an investigation? Just kind of check the baby out. Let's make sure that he's actually a human baby. Let's see. Oh, yeah. You begin to kind of inspect it, make sure, it's doing okay. And when you pull the some of the fabric away from this baby's neck, you see that there's a strange birthmark right here on the neck of it. It seems to be in a very strange, odd shape of a skull with little droplets around it.
I feel like I know what this means.
Yeah, you're welcome to roll a history. You're welcome to roll a history if you want to maybe see if you can identify it as something important. I'd even take an arcana as well.
All right. Not a religion?
Oh, yeah, you can roll religion. Yeah, for sure, if that's better for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to matter. I got an 8.
Yeah,
I should know what this is, but I don't.
Yeah, you're like, maybe it's an old symbol. I'm not really sure. And why is it a birthmark on this baby's neck? And you realize that the fabric it was in has kind of soaked up a lot of the water, and it's kind of squirming in it, trying to get free of it.
So, Ethelstan has never raised a child, but he's seen people do it. So he kind of bobs it a little bit, says, "Shh, it's okay, Aww. It's okay." And then he's looking to see. He looks to the half elf and he says, "Here, you should care for this. Looks like you're with child." And he shoves it onto her.
She is also, and I think we can all agree upon this, a woman.
Oh, God!
Ari's kind of like holding the baby out like you would a football or a rugby ball.
Like you're not sure what to do with it. And it is reaching for your belly. You see it starts to wrinkle, and its little hands kind of break free of the fabric, and it drips, it drapes away from the baby's body, and it begins reaching for your belly.
Ari's going to kind of do a test of closer to the belly, further away from the belly, closer to the belly, further away from the belly. Yeah,
every time it gets closer, the crying begins to dissipate, and it's almost like it wants to latch onto you in some way.
I do not trust it.
It looks as though it wants to eat. Can you feed it?
What was that, Kelt? Do you know where you are?
Those of us who are newly joining the group, do we know where we are, what's going on, or is it just kind of like we woke up and what's going on?
Kelt, you've been dead actually a lot longer than everybody else. So you've actually been inside of Bhaal's dominion single-handedly longer. You should know that there are some very odd things happening here. Why don't you roll an insight?
Is this baby cool?
Yeah, I hang out with it.
It's got a cool tattoo.
It does.
That's a mark in its favor for me.
15? Dang, okay. So, because of how long you've spent here, and how many times you have died in this place, it is odd, one, that when you awoke, you were not greeted by Bhaal, because he cannot put you in a trial if he doesn't show up to tell you what it is. And two, it seems particularly odd because anytime that you've not been on a trial, Bhaal basically keeps your consciousness in a torture chamber. And you spent a lot of time in a torture chamber, Finbar included. He also knows what that's about. This is eerily quiet.
That's a ball baby.
Excuse me?
Half-elf woman, that's a ball baby. Get it away from put it in the water. I say we put that thing in the water, and somebody who's the biggest
Ari like starts like nodding and like immediately walking over to the water, like, yeah, are we doing this?
Are we just killing
Ethelstan steps forward to stop her.
I haven't been around for a while.
I think Finbar's onto something. We should step on it in the water.
Is this a new policy? I've been away for a while. If it is what we're doing, totally on board. If it's not, just questioning, where we're at.
It has a bloody tattoo on it, and it's I'm telling you, it's a ball baby, and it wants your stomach. It's going to tear into you. Let it get a hold of you, and then we'll stand by ready to shank it.
Get close and see. We could put it on her and see if it rips out her stomach.
Just hold it close to you.
And if it does, well, then we'll know.
What do you want to do, Ari?
She's gonna sigh. So, what the heck? I can't seem to die properly here anyway. And she'll let the baby latch onto her belly.
So you bring it close, and it is definitely not a feeding thing. It's not trying to eat you. It wants to be close to you, close to what's inside your belly. And you bring it close, and it almost like hugs itself on your round bulbous belly as it latches on in a almost inhuman way. And it puts its little baby ear, which is, very strange as well, to your belly and listens to what's inside of it.
I don't know what is worse, the fact that it hasn't ripped itself apart from myself apart, or the fact that it's doing this.
It's like Aragorn at the beginning of the Two Towers, like listening down on the stone. They're 2 days away.
Yeah. They're still cooking, not ready yet. Turn the oven up.
What's it doing, Ari? Is that a good thing? It doesn't seem to be eating you.
It's cuddling, which is worse.
Maybe
I don't want this thing getting attached.
Staying away.
I offer my quarterstaff, and like, do you need me to pry it off?
You want him to pry it off?
Could give it a pry.
Yeah, let's pry the baby.
Well, it is on you.
And
do you want to pry or have him pry it off?
You go for it. Maybe he'll latch on someone else.
Or is it me? Or should we name this baby Pry? It's starting to sound like a good idea.
Oh, I can see what you mean, Pry. Pry the child.
Pry comes before
Okay, now you
Wait,
guys
roll to try to pry it off.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Just roll me a strength, because it is an unnaturally strong baby. Or I'd take an athletics as well, if you would prefer. If you get that lovely proficiency bonus.
I don't to either.
So I was about to say, as a warlock, I doubt it.
No, it's just gonna be a pure D20.
Okay, great. Give us that straight D20 then. That's why I say you're a warlock. At a 7, he comes over and begins to tug, and this baby is unnaturally strong. It begins to, you can feel its little tiny soft fingers dig into your sides as it pulls, and it almost rakes itself down you and will not let go.
Ow. Okay, no, you know what? And Ari just brings it back and you're like, it's staying here now. This is me now.
And you notice, like, it does come away from your body just a little bit, even with his strength pull. And as it kind of like leaves your body and then you pull it back close, as there's a gap between your belly and the baby, just a little bit, you feel something very strange from inside your stomach. The two babies you're hosting, their hands reach out and push your belly forward. You can see their little fingers reach to pull the ball baby back. Pry, is that what we named it? Pry? To pull Pry back close to it.
See the hands?
Yeah, you guys see it. You can't miss it. There's 4 of them, and it's almost like they're freaking out because you are removing the baby from Ari.
Least attractive thing I have ever seen.
Wait, say that again, Denzel.
And people say my magic is creepy.
That does not look right. Not right at all.
Is not. Now, Celts, since you have seen a lot of shit in your 1.5 years of death in Bhaal's Dominion, You know a few things, and you're welcome to share it or not. From your time here, you've realized that Bhaal is doing something. He's building an army, and he's doing it by growing them inside of very specific adventurers that come in his dominion. You've seen it for yourself, the way that these Bhaal spawn are born. They eat their way out of the person that hosts them. But you have never seen a Bhaal spawn that looks as clean and fresh and human as the one that Ari is holding.
Is the one she's holding outside of her, or the one that she's holding?
Yeah, the Pry, the Pry baby. Pry baby is not like the Bhaal spawn you've seen.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to tell everybody. You know, look, I tried to tell you guys this thing is I've never seen this thing before, but I've seen the things that are in. I point at her belly. Those things are going to eat her. And something, look, this thing's already trying to latch on to what's inside of her. We need to put that baby in the water and just step on it. And
all right, I'm convinced.
Sorry, Ari wasn't. Your demise would probably be a lot cleaner if you let us put you down in the water and stepped on you too.
I've never met you before, but I completely agree with everything you're saying. It makes a lot of sense.
You'll step on the baby, but you're not stepping on me.
Hold on a second.
That's fine.
Ethelston puts his hands up and kind of steps between the halfling and Finbar and Ari, and he says, wait a second. And he looks at Ari and he looks at her belly. Is there any way that he could use his divine sense to try to see if the baby and her belly is evil?
Yeah, it's super evil. Those things growing inside of her may take the form of human, like their shape itself may be human, fingers, toes, those kinds of things, but the essence of the creature is 100% evil. I will say this, most
There's a
paladins
moment of
have
silence while he does that, and then he looks at Finbar and he looks at Celts and he says, okay, you're right. They're evil and it must be destroyed.
Cool. That was a quick 180, I have to say.
I feel like you just gotta put your hands out and we're like,
You really went from let's not kill any babies to let's kill a baby and its mother within about 10 seconds, and I respect that about you.
Oh. Now, you also note that the Pry baby, the one that dropped out of the tear, is different than the ones inside of her. The one that is latched onto her belly is significantly more evil. It is a strong evil presence, as if the ones inside of her may only be a portion of that.
Oh, in that case, then Ethelston would probably get staggered and fall back from the baby. And kind of like maybe shield himself and say, there's great evil coming from that. You must destroy it. And he would be reaching for this warhammer that he has looped at his waist.
Yeah, you can definitely reach for it. The pry is still attached to Ari's belly. Somebody can try to make another strength check to rip it off if you want, or an athletics. Somebody help them. I was about to say, somebody got a crowbar, like a pry bar.
I have a crowbar.
Its own hands.
So I'm just gonna pull one of my daggers and I'm just gonna like poke it in the hand.
Oh, okay. You want to like poke its hand?
So
yeah.
So one of you come grab hold of the other end of this baby. When it loosens up, I need you to yank on it as hard as you can. So I'm gonna go up to and kind of time it and stick it in the hand with a dagger.
Great. Who's pulling the baby off?
Ethelston will step forward and with his free hand grab it. Grab the baby.
I'll give you
like a
scruff of snack
into your
house. Oh, you're gonna grab it like a cat?
Yeah, just grab it.
So let's say this: you can take an advantage on that since the halfling rogue is adding the kind. It's gonna let its hands free, at least one of them, when he stabs it with the dagger. So I'll give you advantage on your strength check. Oh, wow. 2 12s. Well, that's okay. A 16 was enough. He stabs it, and you see one hand of the baby let free, and almost like a magnet, it starts to go back, but you're able to pull it off just in time. It rips part of Ari's clothing with its tiny fingers. Like, you see where it just, like, doesn't want to let go, like chalks fingernails down a chalkboard. And as you pop it free, it begins, like, kicking and screaming and wailing, just yelling and screaming. And the babies inside of you, Ari, the 2 ball spawn, begin kicking. And if they could scream, they would. And they're rattling around on the inside, their faces. You can feel them as they're trying to push themselves out of you.
Kill it with fire? Nope.
And what are you doing with this
baby? Do with the baby. Do with the baby. Get rid of that baby. Just do it now.
It's thrashing around, and he's got this warhammer, and he's trying to figure out, like, he's gonna, like, baseball bat it, like, drop it and swing it.
And punt it.
Yeah.
Kick the baby.
No, before he does this, am I in line to where this thing's going to come flying at me at any point? I'm not really sure.
No, I would say he's probably, yeah, you guys are probably all kind of around Ari, I suspect, since she seems to be the center of attention at the moment. I would say that the Asmir probably will take a step to the side to, like, swing and bat it out of the way, yeah.
I'm going to go and put as many people between him and the baby and myself, so I'm going to step behind whoever the tallest person is and just kind of step back and watch from around that person.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, you kind of, like, you're
this could be
peering.
a sport.
I think you're right. I think it's going to be a sport.
Batting
Certain
babies.
circles.
Ball. Yeah.
Ball. We call the game ball game. The ball game.
The ball game.
No ball.
It's somewhere in the ballpark
All
of.
the time.
So, yeah.
When you play, you have a ball. No.
I would say the baby is gonna automatically take damage. It's literally a human baby child. But why don't you just make me take me out to the ball game? Oh, we are so punny today. Why don't you roll me another athletics, or you can just roll for your hammer, just a general attack to see if you can knock it out of the park.
Okay.
I can't get at the tune to take me out to the ball game.
So how exactly do you, like, knock this child into the, like, you know, get rid of it or kill it?
Yeah, so he just drops it, and as it's like it's slow-mo, it drops through the air, and he brings the hammer around, and there's, like, this flash of silver light as it just connects, and it just it's like a pop as this baby gets launched off into the darkness.
So you see as it starts the arc, so you guys watch it, everything lights up with the vibrancy of your of it, and it hits the baby, and the baby goes silent when it hits it, and it doesn't get but 5 feet from you and almost explodes like a firework. Thunder ripples across, and all of you are blinded by an unnatural, like, change of place and existence, as if you broke something. And when you can finally, like, get the stars and things to, like, simmer down, you're no longer standing in 2 inches of water. You're not in, like, a black ethereal place. You've changed locations. The baby's gone, but as you all look around, there are dead bodies as far as the eye can see, just laying face down on the ground, except for one. A human male at your feet goes, he's in very ragtag clothes, and he sits up and looks up and sees all of you standing over him. Hi.
Who are you?
Are you Pry?
Who?
Is your name Pry?
My name, I don't know my name.
I look at Ari. Is she still pregnant?
She is still pregnant.
Whew. I thought you gave birth to a 40-year-old man.
I'm gonna walk over to him, and I'm just gonna start, like, kind of poking him.
Why don't you roll me a perception when you start poking him?
Because all of his sensors come from his finger.
What oh, there he is.
So +1.
So at 10.
So 10.
Not quite enough. You're just too interested in like poking and figuring him out. He's like, hey, stop that. And then this human male notices all the bodies. The space you're in is more like a holding facility, a chamber of some kind. You can see walls, but they're about 200 feet in either direction. Like there's definitely an endpoint in the room you're in. Everything's stone floor, stone walls, no windows, solid ceiling, like just a jail cell, one giant, huge holding facility with all these dead bodies. And the man looks around. Did you guys kill all these people?
Did we kill all these people?
It's a possibility at this point. I don't think so. I don't remember doing it. Anyone else remember killing? No, we only killed a baby. That's all we did. I mean, I didn't. He did.
Yeah, we just...
A baby?
We all volunteered as tribute when it came to that.
Insistent on murdering the baby. I don't know what came over him.
The kind of this man stands up. You realize he's, like I say, he's in pretty ratty clothes, basic kind of linen, black pants and top and shirt. And at his side is a single dagger. And he's like checking himself over. I don't. Where are we? How did you get here?
Denzel takes off the cat that was on its head, and now realizes that he doesn't actually have black hair, and he holds his cat out and says, "One test, this will calm you down. Everyone likes a cat. Pet it, and all your worries will go away, and then we can worry about everything else later."
Pet the cat?
Yes.
Is it okay? Question. You said it is like a real house cat?
Yeah. It's just it's a Scottish fold, so it's just this little ball of fur with googly eyes.
With googly eyes. So he like reaches out to go touch it, and he gets about 5 inches from it. And I don't know if it's typical of your cat, but it goes and just like hisses at him as if he is evil or dangerous in some way. And he like strawbacks and he goes, "Your cat's so mean."
What you need to do is get catnip, and I'll take care of everything.
I want to check this guy for the tattoo.
Roll me another perception now that he's on his feet.
Oops.
Oh.
Sorry.
D2?
That's not right.
Cats are just furry goblins.
They are.
Oh. What's the one? So only
9.
a 9. You're not sure if it's his shirt or what, but you just can't get your eyes on it. Anybody else? Actually, I would think you guys can all make the perception if you want to, just kind of look him up and down and give me a general look over.
Sure.
Sure, why not? Definitely
Why not?
not a 2. Oh! It is when he goes to pull away from the cat and is like hissing, you see it on his neck right there. That same strange birthmark shaped like a skull, wreathed in some kind of like dots. Finbar and 11's not quite enough, man. You guys
Looks good to me.
Denzel with the blunt would just would point at it and go, "Have you always had that birthmark of a skull and blood and other weird morbid things?"
What? I don't. And he stops for a second and kind of like, you can see his eyes like searching for the memory or searching for something. And he goes, I don't know anything.
Hang on a minute. So, in conclusion here, the baby Pry had a weird tattoo. This guy's got a weird tattoo. Killing baby Pry made him age. So maybe we do the opposite of killing him.
But I'm not a baby.
Which I have to say, I look once again to Ari. Because the opposite of death is life. You're muted.
I was like, I have nothing.
Ari just when it's still just like
Try giving birth
Not-
to him.
And you see him as he notices, like really notices Ari. He goes, you're so pregnant.
Yes,
And he
that's my
goes,
new
"Can I-"
name these days.
I feel inclined to touch may I touch your belly?
Oh my god, that
I don't like
is
him.
One of those people.
one of those.
Don't let him touch your belly without asking first.
Hey, he asked permission.
Oh, that's right.
Stranger
Let him
danger.
touch it then.
All you have to do is ask. Alright.
Yeah, and he goes, you're so beautiful, and those babies, they call to me, and he goes to kind of reach out for you. May I?
This is like some Twilight shit going on now.
While he's entranced with Ari, I'd like to try to lift that dagger off of him.
Okay, you want to try? Yeah, roll me a sleight of hand. Hey, he's gonna roll against you though. If you can notice it. Holy cow! At a nat 20, yeah, you do the thing. Like he is too enamored with Ari's belly and the babies that you were like, and you slip the dagger right off of him.
He's got
Looking
baby
at it,
fever.
do I see anything? Is it just a plain dagger, or does it seem to be?
It seems to be a very nice dagger, significantly nicer than the clothes he's wearing, and it shares a similar emblem on the pommel as the birthmark on his neck.
Okay.
This one's a lot
I'm
clearer,
gonna-
though. It's
Again, while he's kind of occupied with Ari, I'm gonna pass it off to is it Athelstan? And ask him, hey, man, take this and do your good evil thing on it. I want to see what you pick up from this. And I pass him the dagger, trying to keep it low key so that the new ball doesn't notice it.
all right. Let's see. You can roll. I take an Arcana check on it. I would also take a History or Religion.
For me,
No, from
okay.
yeah. There he goes. Oh yeah. What did you roll for?
Religion.
Oh, well, religion. Okay. You realize it. Maybe it was just because it was too skewed on his neck. But when you see the actual pommel of this this dagger, it's about a coin size, right? And there's the emblem on it, and you are assured that this is the symbol for Bhaal, the god of murder, who has not been around for a long time. We took care of Bhaal decades ago. And then you begin piecing things together. The birthmark, this piece. The dagger itself, just knowing what you know about religion and Bhaal, is that Bhaal was in fact an assassin when he was still mortal.
Yeah, he would be totally confused by this, wondering if he's in some sort of nightmare, that this isn't real, that he'll wake up from. He would kind of be mumbling more to himself than to Kiltz, and he would just be saying, "The Lord of Murder, Bhaal, it can't be." And he would look over to the man trying to reach at Ari's belly, and he would think back to batting that baby, and he would shake his head and say, "This can't be." And the dagger would fall from his hands to the floor.
I grab it.
Make me a dex to see if you can catch it. Yeah, see if you can catch it there, Kelts.
I'm more worried if it cuts you.
Oh, another nat 20 for that. Yeah. You catch
Oh,
it. as it goes to
damn.
hit, I know, right? Go to hit the ground. Snatch. And you catch it right by the handle. It hangs kind of blade down to the ground from your hands as you caught it.
I'm gonna just kind of stash it into one of my many sheaths that I have up under my cloak, and just kind of tuck it away for right now.
Yeah. So this is going on. The Asmir's kind of picked up on things. The halfling rogue now has a new dagger that belonged to Bhaal, is kind of what we're assuming. Denzel, your cat is constantly making eyes at this human. He seems in terms of all intents and purposes, very average, normal dude. He doesn't even seem strong enough to probably be a legitimate adventurer or hero. He doesn't carry that air about him. But the cat is just like, you can just see it. Very, like I said, I don't know its usual personality, but I can only assume this is probably not it.
Yeah, it's typically like a lap dog thing. So he just has his cat Sleuth, and he just casually like holds it up and looks at it, kind of like you would do if you're holding a box trying to read the instructions. He goes, "What's gotten into you? You don't act like this in front of our patron."
Yeah.
What is going on here? Where are we even? Because he doesn't know.
Somewhere in Bhaal's place. Really all you need to know.
Welcome to Ball Town.
Ball Town.
Do you have one ball of a time?
Ballville.
Balltopia.
Here we go.
Oh, and it begins. The man
Ball puns roll.
The man is still enamored with your belly. He looks up and goes, "Please." He's even closer now. Ari, can I touch it?
I don't think it's a good idea that he does that, Ari.
No, you're making it kind of weird now.
I used to do a lot of work in sexual harassment, and both sides of the fence in it all. And really, this is crossing a line.
I'm so sorry. I don't mean, I have this strange urge. It's the only thing, nothing's familiar. I have no memories. This is, these children. And he doesn't touch you, but he wants to. You can see his hands like levitating near your belly as he wants to.
Personal bubble. This is
right. Where are we? What is this place?
What do you remember? Anything? Do you remember anything? How you got here? Anything? Do any of these people on the ground look familiar to you?
And he looks around and his eyes begin to search all the dead bodies. No, I don't. Who could do such a thing? Who would do such evil things?
I think Ethelston would kneel down next to one of these bodies and try to see if he can discern what killed it, or what killed this person.
Very cool. So I would take an Arcana or a medicine check.
All right, I'll go with medicine.
Oh, nice. And Bhaal gets some wild magic surges, so we'll deal with that here in a second. You rolled a 17?
Yes. Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry. Which one did you choose? Religion? Or it
was medicine.
Medicine. Okay. Yeah. You come down to the first body. It seems to be an elvish woman, well fit. You don't see any markings on her or anything. You can kind of roll her body over, and she is a bit waterlogged from kind of sitting in the I'm sorry, she's not waterlogged, from being face down. Kind of the blood has pooled in her face. Ooh, yeah. And you check her pulse. She's absolutely 100% dead, but there are no markings of like any kind of like sword that penetrated her, no like slices, nothing that would signify how she died. The look in her eyes, because the lids are not closed, is that of terror and fear. That face that she made right before her death of screaming is like frozen and petrified.
From where he's kneeling down next to this woman, he would turn to the others and not to anyone in particular, he'd say, "You must bind that man quickly."
He goes, what man?
And he's looking right at.
He like looks behind him as if maybe you're looking at somebody else. What did I do? I just got here.
Yeah.
Where he's standing, is he coming into contact with any of the bodies at all?
He is not.
So I'm going to step forward to him and grab the arm or hand of the nearest body in one hand and his wrist by the other and make him contact the body and see if anything happens. Like
he fights you a little bit, but
to the
he's
body's hand.
to a body's hand. He fights you a little bit, but he's not a very strong man. He looks particularly kind of frail, like I was saying. And you touch his hand to the dead body. He goes, ooh, 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 ooh. He's kind of like not looking at it, you know, as you mesh this clammy hand with his, and nothing happens.
You don't feel anything when you're holding his hand?
You made the dead guy's hand?
Yeah.
Make him look into the eyes.
I let go of him. That's all I got. And I step away.
Athelstan would stand up and say, I said bind him! And he would start to move towards the guy.
Whoa, what'd I do? He may start to run from you if that's what you're gonna do. So let me he's gonna roll for that to make sure he doesn't like trip and fall on his face. So hang on. He's not a very agile person. So he rolls in athletics out of 3. Out of 3. And he goes to turn, and because he's not very nimble, he trips over one of the dead bodies and falls face first, landing on a dead body, and he's kind of freaking out. Oh my god! And he starts to kind of lose it.
So I'm going to kneel down and just grab him by his elbow and shoulder and say, calm down, you. Calm down. And kind of hold him in place while Alistan comes over to bind him with whatever he's got.
All right, roll me a strength.
You're fine. You're fine.
Face up.
Yeah, are you holding him face down or face up?
Not just keeping him in place. I've set him up.
Just kind of trying to hold him. Yeah, roll me a quick strength to make sure, because he is trying to get out of here. If you guys are gonna bind him. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see what I can do with it. Sorry, I just rolled my wild magic surges, which I'm gonna get to here momentarily. So oh yeah, you do. He's not strong. And he's like, no, please. And you're gonna bind him up. Is that my understanding?
I'm just holding him. Someone else to come bind him.
Yeah, Athelstan will come over and put his knee on his back or his belly as he pulls his hands behind him, and will start to bind them.
What? He goes, what did I do? I didn't do anything!
Sometimes it's less about what you do and more about how creepy you are. Just as yourself.
Very true.
And he's a relatively young, kind of baby-faced human. So it's kind of funny you say that, because he's very clean and well-kept, and he's like, I don't understand. And he starts crying.
Well, look at the rest of us. That's weird.
And as he begins to cry, Ari, your belly once again begins to rumble. With your children they're beginning to get upset. Their hands press again, and their mouths, and now they're beginning to try to eat their way from the inside out.
Mother of Palo, what the?
Come here. I have an idea. I'm going to motion her to come over, and I'm going to he's bound now, right? He's not going to.
He is not going anywhere.
I'm just going to come here, and I'm going to push her to where she's kind of touching him, but he can't grab at her or anything, but just put him in that close proximity and see if it calms down the monsters in their belly.
Okay. Yeah, as you bring him close, he too starts to calm down. He's like, oh, that's better. Okay, well, I guess, it's kind of weird, me just being here, so I guess if you feel like you need to tie me up, you can just tie me up. And the babies, too, in your belly, Ari, begin to simmer down.
Great.
Yeah, he's yours now, too. You get those two and him. They're yours. Until we figure out what to do with them.
Yeah, let's just leave this man here and let Ari be eaten from the inside out.
What the? You can't leave me here with all these dead bodies. They're gross.
I mean, can't we?
Yeah, you're not really in a position to be making demands or.
Right. Well.
He is in a position to make pleas.
Ari is very unhappy about being used like a pawn right now, just scouring at everyone. Just.
He looks at you because again he's so enamored, and he goes, "My Who is the lucky father?
Ball. I
And his
think.
face.
God, I'm so glad you said that because I really did wonder if it might have been.
Finbar was like holding
That's
his breath.
That's a burden off my
Back up,
shoulders.
wait
Find out if you're
off you.
That'd be
Um,
nice.
Killed me. Yeah, and his face, like when you say that, Ball, his face crinkles as if he's thinking really hard about something, as if he's trying to remember something. Ah, that name. I know that name, he says.
Yes, he's kind of a big deal around here.
Who is he?
Has anyone asked this guy his name yet? No?
Yeah,
What
I
is your name,
can't.
friend?
I don't know. I don't remember. And he starts to get a little upset again.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Ball is probably your father too. But I'm not your mother. Let's make that very clear right now.
He looks really, really confused by that statement. And you guys see kind of this glaze go over his eye as almost like another one of those thunderous balls of energy explode out from his body. I need everybody to make a dex save.
Oh, gosh.
Just start.
Let's
Start that. And
That's
then,
gonna be good.
no, it is in fact not going to be good.
Save?
Let's see how we did.
14.
That's actually fine.
Wow.
Kels, did you have? Oh no, Kels, did you have anything to add to that 10?
Yeah, is it a save or just a dex mod?
It's a save. It is a save.
So, plus 8.
Oh wow. Okay,
18?
so you rolled an 18. So we got 3 nat ones and a 14. So the only person, or the only two people that actually make it are Kels and Finbar. And as this like of energy burst out, you guys are able to basically hit the deck as it passes over your head. The other 3 of you, including Ari, are basically pushed backwards, and you're going to take a little bit of damage from this.
Oh, no.
Just a little.
No! Just a little bit. As
the game
it
blasted-
pushed...
Sorry,
Oh, that is not at all how you roll a dice, Chelsea. Let's try that again. That's how you roll a dice. So you guys take 7 points of damage as it literally blasts you at probably 20 or 30 feet backwards, and you hit the ground. And about the time you're gathering yourselves, he's like panting from this wild magic energy that's passed through him. And in his hands appears a strange book. And then you begin to notice he is still bound. It's like appears right in his hand. It's a pretty average sized book, like this one. It's not like a pocket, sized book. And it like appears and he's like, whoa. And all of the sudden, all the bodies around you, they start to stir. As Ball rolled. What was my number? 2357, which is in fact his magic book is coveted by the undead. And the room begins to fill, right, with these bodies as they start to like as they start to like stir and pick themselves up off the floor. You're staring at about 150 or 200 zombies in this room.
Oh, yay.
Time to go. I would say.
Can we tell?
Is
that
there any
only-
direction you suggest we go in?
Away.
What was that, Denzel?
Oh, wait.
Can we tell that they're focused just on creepy man with book?
That is a good question. Why don't you roll a perception?
Would it be perception or insight?
I would take either. You get different information for both, but I'll take either. Oh, nice. Which one do you roll for?
That was
Insight.
insight.
from the insight that you can gather, just like very quickly taking the room in, as the zombies begin to stand, they have not noticed the 5 of you whatsoever. They are all eyes on this bound, innocent, naive human man with this book.
Denzel starts doing the cartoon back pedal, kind of slow motion out of there.
And they start.
Oh yeah,
and
I was gonna wobble away.
He looks up and goes, "What? Whoa! Did you guys see this? The bodies, they're up, they're moving. Hi,
crazy.
Hi." And he like waves, with his bound hands. He's like, "Hi. Do you guys know where we are? Anybody? No? Okay." And the zombie's like,
I'm gonna keep walking back. Let him wave.
And these zombies begin to attack him, and so I'm gonna say he 100% like totally dies as they begin like biting on him and ripping apart. He's like, "No, what are you doing?" As you guys like hear him scream, flesh is flying. And as you hear them like tearing through, gnawing into bone, the voice of the unidentified human male goes silent. The zombie's like, ugh. And the whole lot of them turn and look at the 5 of you.
How are the babies
From where I'm
reacting
standing,
now?
can I see where he dropped the book, or did the book get dropped, or just torn apart?
Roll a perception. Because there's a lot of zombies between you and him now.
Balls?
12. Out of 12. It's hard to see the book, but you can only rightfully assume he probably dropped it right next to him. The other thing that you notice just in your quick, like, looking around, there are no exits. This is a exitless room. The box.
Huh. Well, we could try killing Ari. We're all thinking it, and I'm just saying it.
Okay, I'm going to.
Excuse me?
Cast.
It's not my
I
book.
would like to cast Mage Hand and send it into where I saw the book last, and see if I can get it to grab and retrieve the book for me.
Yeah, you don't have any problem. Like I said, you can kind of see where his body's at, and the zombies are beginning to like, as they start to walk towards you. The mage hand like zips the book up. Like I said, it's not very big, and you're able to kind of bring it back over to you as it kind of dodges through all the zombies back your direction, about 35 feet.
Once I have the book in my possession, I want to kind of step around and see if they're following the book. If they seem to be attracted more towards the book.
There's no doubt, because
I've taken the book, and God, I hate to do this. I'm going to take the book and just fling it as far as I can to the opposite direction from where we're all at.
Yeah, you watch all the zombies go, ugh. And you hear it like thud land. Why don't you make me a quick strength or athletics just to see how far you manage to get it away from you guys?
While he's been doing all that, is it possible for Denzel to have used Mage Hand to try to steal the dagger that he stole?
Off of him? Yeah. All right, so let's start. At 19, man, you like fling that book. 18. Okay, like Frisbee style. And it goes easy, like 80 feet, 90 feet. And you hear it like thud. And the zombies stop. Turn and start straight at the book. As that happens, you want to roll. So we are going to give, I guess your mage hand just grabs it. Are you trying to do it stealthily in any way? You're trying to like slide a hand, or you just want to grab it off of him? Okay. Kelts, why don't you quick roll just a perception to see if you perceive the mage hand taking the dagger off of you?
All right. Do you need me to roll stealth first, or?
He definitely doesn't see it. Go ahead and roll the stealth or slide a hand. I'd take either.
Let's see. This is going to be +6.
Wow. Okay, so a 10. Yep. It's okay. You beat him. It doesn't matter, because all in all, none of it was very smooth. The mage hand comes over. It does pull it off of Kelts. You feel it like reach in, but Kelts, you're too busy slinging a book, trying to get the zombies away from you to really do anything about it. But you do, in fact, now have a mage hand with the book, or with the knife or dagger, and the book has been thrown. The zombie horde is moving actively towards it. And as they dissipate, you see what's left of this human. He lays filleted open, just bits of meat left hanging from the bone. What's left of his face that hasn't been eaten hangs open where he was screaming, and he's now petrified.
Okay. Did I see him lift the dagger from me? I did, right?
Oh, yeah, you did, because he wasn't very stealthy about it. You just didn't have you weren't able, yeah.
I'm just going to turn over and say, I would have handed it to you had you asked. I just didn't want that guy, and I point to the body. I didn't want him to see that I had it. That's it.
You were busy throwing a beautiful throw. It was quite a beautiful throw. You were busy, everything was distracted, so I figured I needed it. It looked creepy, and I know creepy magic, so I thought it was mine.
Fair enough.
And as you say, creepy magic, just in time, the zombies have made it the full 80 feet, and they hop, onto it. And as they're, fighting one another to get the book, the impact of all of them jumping on it begins to shake and rumble the floor. Unnaturally so. Something's coming up from beneath. And another tear rips open in the center of this room. The zombies all turn as if it is some kind of divine light, even. And out from it steps the nameless man. It plops him on the ground. You sacrificed me to the zombies!
Sacrifice would kind of imply some sort of religious ceremony, and I don't think that's us. Point to the paladin. Maybe him, though.
He puts his hands up. It wasn't me. It was the book that you had. We had nothing to do with that.
You were just at the wrong place at the wrong time, sweetheart.
And then he looks over and sees his own dead body. What's left of it? He goes, oh my god! Oh my god! That's me! And the man just breaks down into sobbing tears. I don't know what's going on anymore.
So I'm gonna step towards him and I'm gonna look at Denzel and go, let me see that, and ask for the dagger.
Check him. He might have another for some random reason.
Does he have another one?
He does. It's on his hip.
Another one.
Called it.
Oh, jeez. All right, so I'm gonna go down to comfort him. I'm gonna lift his new dagger from him.
Okay.
I'm not sure what kind of roll you want for that.
Sleight of hand. Okay. Yeah, you definitely do it.
Let's see. So this time, just gonna lift it, and then I'm just gonna plunge it right down into his neck. I want to kill him with his own dagger.
All right. Do me a favor.
Are you stabbing him in the symbol on his neck?
Oh yeah, that's pretty poetic. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Love it. Just right through the birthmark on his neck. Do me a favor.
Lordy.
And roll the actual attack. So the D20 plus your strength. Oh, but you're rogue, so you're dex. You can use dex.
And just before we do this, I'm going to tell him, don't worry, this is all in the name of science. And plus 8.
The science?
Oh, okay. So for 13. 13's enough. The good news is he's right next to you. He's not fighting you. He didn't realize that you were actually going to attack him, and he's wearing absolutely no armor. So you drive the dagger through his neck, and he's like, as he's trying to talk to you, and you're saying these things, he goes, are you pulling it free? Or are you going to leave it in his neck?
Yeah, I want to pull it out.
Twist it.
Oh, man. As you rip it free from the kind of jugular you've put it in, blood spatters. It almost spews unnaturally from his body. And as it does so, it covers all of you, in your eyes and in your mouth. And then when you're able to regather yourself, you realize that you are no longer where you were. As you wipe your eyes of all the blood, it is just dousing you. You wipe your eyes clean, and you're standing in the middle of a field. He lays at your feet, Kelt. All of you. Well, Finbar's frozen, but he's there.
That's actually
I'm
ironically
more
what the
confused
Finbar
than
statue
usual.
should look like.
More confused than usual. Yeah, and it's like. Now, Ari, actually, why don't you roll me an insight? This will be you were there
Sure.
for this game. Let's see.
Insight. Do, 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 do. Insight. Do, 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 do. 15?
You start to look around and you're like, God, this place looks familiar. I've been. Oh, right. And you look up and there's a giant cliff ledge where you caught babies from the last time. And Kelt, you look down and the nameless man, the one you stabbed in the neck, his body lays at your feet, still pouring blood. And he's like, as he kind of like, and dies.
Again.
And it falls silent in the field. And again.
I've been through this before. I've already done this trial.
This time there
I
are
really
no
have to do this
babies.
again.
I really have to do this. There
What
are no
these
babies
trials you
falling this
speak
time.
of?
Yeah, what are you talking about, trials? Is that what we're doing now?
These are the weirdest tests I've ever seen.
Anybody?
I guess my question would be directed at Ari. She seems to know what she's talking about. Maybe Finbar as
Oh, well, the last time I was here, there was more elements to it. Lots of babies involved. And this was before the pregnant, or was it mid-pregnancy? I can't even remember how long I've been pregnant now.
Yeah, that was your trial of motherhood, actually. And I want to think that was the game where you guys chose not to participate, so Bhaal put an extra spawn in each of you.
I believe I caught 2 babies. No, I caught a baby.
That's right, that's right. You caught a baby. Yeah, we missed a few of the babies.
I stripped naked and used it as a sling to catch the baby midair.
Right, I do remember that. Yeah, and
the bag of devouring as well.
Yep, that is where Derek used the bag of devouring to eat his fetus.
Wow.
That he cut out of his own stomach. Wow, just so much horrible things. And so as this is like rushing back to you, Ari, and you're trying to explain to them like trials and things that were dead basically.
These brains, head shrinkage.
There's a strange thing that begins to happen. You guys hear that thunderous roar again, like roll across the sky, and it's actually beautiful. You're like outdoors, there are like flowers around and stuff, and lightning pops across a sunlit sky. Crack, crack, crack. And something off in the distance begins to rain from the sky. Roll a perception. All of you can if you'd like.
For those of you who don't want to know.
Slayer guitar solo is going to start now.
I was about to say, if you aren't interested, yeah, exactly. Come from the land of the ice and nice. Okay, so Kelt, no. What did you add to yours? What is your what's your
it's
bonus?
11 all up. 11.
Oh, total 11. Okay.
Yeah.
You see something falling from the sky. Relatively large, in fact. The size of maybe a human body. Now. Dizzle, you see the same thing. You're like, what is that? And it's almost like this giant thundercloud is beginning to roll towards you guys, and it's dropping these large objects from the sky. Ari, like the bodies at the floor. Ari, you absolutely recognize it, not just as like anything falling from the sky. These are multiple duplicates of the nameless man who are fallen. It's raining literally men. And the cloud is like moving. And, hallelujah! The thunderous cloud is like rolling towards you guys. And as it gets closer, I would say about half a mile off, but it's moving at such a fast pace. As the bodies are hitting the ground, they're exploding into fireballs.
Okay.
Hey, Kelps, all the damage you can want.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna loot all the bodies right now. How long will that take? No.
Are you gonna start? Are you gonna? I was about to say, are you running towards the cloud?
No.
Mage hand.
When the bodies impact and they turn to the fireballs, does the body remain, or is the body just exploding when it hits?
All you can tell from where you're at is that it is like going up in a flame. There does seem to be some kind of like either body or soot pile that's left that are beginning to litter the ground. You guys have about 30 seconds before the cloud is like over top of you.
How far away from the cliff? The cliff face.
You're about 100 feet or so from the edge of the cliff.
Is it coming from the cliff side or coming from the field side?
It's coming from the field side.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna start retreating back towards the cliff face. Hopefully, I can find something to take cover under.
Time
Okay,
to
cool.
start
Making my way towards the cliff face.
Is that what you guys are doing? Is like running towards the cliff?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Here's what I'm gonna need. As you guys run, I need everybody to roll an athletics for the run if you're running. And I need you to make a dex save because there are exploding bodies dropping from the sky.
So this first one is the athletics.
Okay. Yeah. Everybody start with your athletics if you don't mind.
That's twice I've rolled nat ones today.
That's a 12.
Oh man. Oh god. Okay.
So I did well on the athletics, a 24, and a nat 1 on the dex save.
On the dex. So go ahead and make your dex save. All right.
Okay, dex save is 18.
I'm at 20 for the dex save.
So the nat 1, Ari, you trip. The good news is you trip and fall, and you guys see her fall face first. Belly, crushed, babies, everything. Okay? And she's the only one that doesn't like isn't like actively running anymore who trips. The cloud is now over top of you, and it's raining these bodies, and one lands like 5 feet from you, Ari. And even though you're face down, you manage to belly roll the opposite direction, and just miss getting being in part of that like 5-foot explosion of the body. But because you're this close, you do recognize that, in fact, there is a crispy fried body left behind. Everybody else makes their run, but not their dex. So you guys are running. 12 dex? Yep.
Yeah.
Still not enough. You needed a 15. Anybody 15? So as you guys are like running and you're like, oh shit, I already tripped. The cloud begins just like torrentially downpouring them now. And you guys are not able to dodge one body that lands basically like right in the middle of you. The good news is nobody, like, you did crit fail, didn't you? It lands on you. No.
Okay.
It lands on you. So let's see here. Okay, you're gonna take 20 points of damage as the body just like engulfs you. The other two, you guys are close enough to him, you only take half that damage, but it does explode you outwards. Ooh, little wild magic surge for Ari's babies. I'm gonna let you roll that there, Ari. They explode.
You never should have fell on them.
Yeah. Something about falling on them activated them. You woke them up.
Beep,
Now they're
beep.
grumpy.
Click.
Just let me know what that number is there in Fantasy Grounds, and we'll 4818. All right, let's see. Okay, so you feel something strange begin to happen. So Ari, you land face down and you guys see this happen. She dodges the explosion, which is particularly nimble and dexterous for a pregnant woman with twins. And Ari, as you like roll over and begin to catch your breath before the next kind of stream of bodies pour from the sky, you feel something strange. The babies are kind of like kicking and pushing once again, but it's no longer feet. There should be 4 feet, 4 hands. There are now 8 hands. As one of the target's limbs now appears identical to the other limbs. And your babies now have 4 arms instead of legs and arms. And all of these little hands are just like gripping and pushing on the interior. Wait, you're muted.
My mother always said I would have demon spawn.
Said it was payback. Yeah, and you guys, after a little bit of recuperation, do make it to the edge of the cliff, kind of bypassing a few more of the bodies. The cliff doesn't have much of a ledge on it, as the cloud passes over, leaving behind a crispy fried field. What once was green and lush now is littered with barbecued bodies, basically. These dark spots where the explosion happened. Once again, this just kind of mass grave site.
I don't know where he's going with this. I'm gonna go investigate one of the crispy fried bodies.
Bodies, yeah. You wanted to, yeah. So
towards us, right?
No, the cloud. Basically, you guys managed to like get to the edge and kind of watch as the cloud like passes over. You run up to one of the bodies, and sure enough, every body that you see has a dagger on it, and is identical to the unnamed man with the birthmark. At least from what's left of him.
Denzel would see Celts going after them and would continue loot party.
Yeah, you guys want to see how many?
I'm good with the one that I have. I just maybe I'll take another one just so I can kind of have them in my hand and use them to poke through the bodies with, like, so I don't have to touch any of them. I don't want to touch any of them.
Yeah, I got you. So you're like poking and getting around, and you come across one body that maybe was like a dud. It didn't actually like go up when it hit, and when you poke it with the dagger, it literally like letting the air out of balloon is like. And it goes like flat almost.
I'm gonna pick it up and like, is it straight like pliable or like can I?
It's like if you only had the skin left. So it's like if you empty it out, it's like the human body still, like in size and everything, but there's nothing on its insides. It's just the skin. It's all limp and gross.
A little bit horrifying, isn't it?
I'm gonna tuck that into my belt because I don't know, we might need that later. So I want to carry the skin flap around with us until we figure out what we need it for.
I'm surrounded by questionable people.
Yeah, all right.
Don't thank me for this one day. Watch. And I'm shaking
or something.
This is gonna save us. You watch. You mark my words, and I'm flipping the like. It's just his foot. Kind of like.
Yeah. It's just a foot.
It's like the farmer in the first Men in Black.
Yes, just like that. Yes, you read my mind. That is literally, it is a literal skin suit. Is Reaver nailed it? Yes, a literal skin suit. And you like pick it up and you're like flopping his foot as you're like talking to them, and something odd begins to happen. The ground starts to absorb the bodies. You look down, and the ground is also beginning to absorb you. Your feet begin to kind of sink in.
We're still by the cliff?
Yeah, you guys are still near the cliff.
I'm gonna, if I can, just scale up the cliff enough to where my feet aren't on the ground anymore. Or do I have to fight against this? Like,
yeah, you're gonna have to kind of. It's almost like quicksand. You have to like pop your foot free of it. It's already gotten up to like your ankle, which is not terribly hard. There's not too much suction, if you would, but you're gonna need to make that climb. So roll in athletics.
Okay.
Cool. At a 19, yeah, you guys see this halfling rogue just like pull himself up, and you climb. And as you do so, your hands, as you're like climbing up the wall, begin to suck into everything around you. Is beginning to absorb you. You're now stuck on the wall.
This is gross.
It's pretty.
So I'm just kind of hanging there, and like my little feet are like kicking, but I'm stuck into the cliff. Like no.
Yeah, and you guys, your feet are now probably ankle, past your ankles, moving up your calf as it's just like sucking you under.
Denzel's going to cast Fly on himself and try to get the out of there.
Okay, cool. You'll have to, well, I guess, let me check the Fly spell. I don't know if it's like an instantaneous thing. I may still make you make a little bit of a strength check to like pop your feet free, but...
casting time, 1 action, 10 minutes, flying speed of 60 feet for the duration.
Okay, so kind of, yeah, so I'll give it to you. I'll say you cast Fly on yourself, and there's this moment where you're like, I don't know if that worked. But your body and pops free of it, and you begin to levitate above the ground as you watch everyone around you, including all of the exploded ashy bodies.
Do I have time to try to save a handful of them, or at least assist them pulling out?
Yeah, sure. You guys can figure out a way if you all want to try to levitate. You can definitely do that. Who would you like to try to free first?
Who's the closest to me? He was out in the field looting daggers. Yeah,
I would say probably. Well, no, Kels is now stuck on the wall. He's back at the cliffside. I would probably say the closest to you is either going to be. It'll probably be Ethelston.
For personal reasons resulting why he died, Denzel's going to ignore the paladin and try to pick up Ari.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. You Ari, are you willing?
Chivalry.
So chivalrous.
Oh yeah, Ari. Anything to not have to do the work.
Right.
I would. It's up to DM, but I would read it as he's trying to give you an advantage to you pull out, but he's like an anchor you can try to pull on because he's not pulling. He's not being.
Yeah, I'll
down.
give you an advantage on the strength check to just kind of free her from it. Are you gonna hang on to her? Or are you wanting to fly with her?
I'm flying cartoonishly. I'm grabbing her and trying to fly up.
Fly upwards with her. Okay.
Yeah. So strength roll, great. Something I'm not good at.
Yeah, I was about to say strength roll with advantage.
I believe.
All right.
Yeah, we'll take advantage.
So I'm gonna roll twice. Wow. And let's see. Next one. Wow.
No.
What do you add to that? Anything you add to that 7?
He's got an 11 strength. He's got a crowbar, but that's it.
Oh, okay.
What if I join Deck and I can help trying to get myself out as well?
Yeah, I was about to say, use him.
Yep.
You don't want to rely on his strength. You want to use your own strength, and he's just the arm offering assistance.
Yeah, so if you want to, basically, you're going to try to climb him a little bit, so you can make another strength there, Ari.
16.
Nice, at a 16, yeah. Between the two of you, you are able to... Oh, you want to roll again with advantage, just to see if you get any higher?
Oh, sure.
That 20 would be wonderful.
No, 16 it is. 16 it is.
At 16, yeah, you hear her feet pop free, and it was almost above her knee by the time you managed to get her out, and it is crawling. Kels, because you're climbing a wall, it's beginning to suck you face first in. You're up to here now, right? Ethelston, it is above the knee, creeping up your thighs. How would you like to proceed, man?
I guess he's going to do this futile act of just trying to keep pulling his legs out. But as he pulls one out, the other one slips in further. And starts pulling out that one, and the other one slips in further. So he's just slowly starting to sink into this ground. He kind of yells to the sky, beseeching his goddess to see him through this, but there's no response. And then his eyes would just go a bright silver, and these bright silver wings would sprout from his back as he invokes his radiant soul, and he would just beat these wings to pull him free, but it's only for the moment.
Yeah, you're able to the ground's becoming almost tar-like at this point. It begins to stick to the bottom of the of your wings as if everything's like a thick paint and clayish. And you're welcome to, if you would like to actually roll a strength. I would say you could take advantage with your wings, because you can technically fly, right? You can also fly.
Only for a short time.
Only for a short period of time.
Yeah.
So it's more of you get up in the air and then you glide back down again. Yeah.
It'll be
and-
60 glorious seconds of freedom from the mud before he falls.
So about a minute. That's actually not too bad. So yeah, why don't you roll a strength check with advantage?
All right, we'll do.
Nice. Yeah, that's 17. So as well, yeah, so 17 is good enough to like pop you free. And you guys see, I don't know if you've ever seen an Asmir, but these beautiful radiant wings like burst free of his back and lift him out of the ground. Unfortunately, Celts, you're now about like your face is like, I don't know how you want to do it, but it's engulfed like the front of your chest. Your arms, and all you have left is really like your face to yell at. You're gonna be completely, your head will be engulfed here shortly.
Drowning in the mud. Ew.
So I'm actually gonna, with my hands inside the cliff, I'm gonna try to grab hold and pull myself like to speed this process along, like let it suck me in.
Interesting. Okay, so you stop fighting. And as you stop fighting, it does. In fact, it almost quick sucks him in. And you guys see the halfling rogue, sucking a piece of spaghetti up through your mouth, just like right in to the wall. Gone. Gone. And the three of you from your elevated height begin to realize that everything around you is almost turning to a mushy, melting, tarry clay. And the center of the field now has some kind of hole that everything is draining into. It's like sucking the environment around you down into this hole. The cliff is beginning to melt.
I say we head to the hole.
You guys head for the hole. You head for the hole and like plunk and dive straight in. It is a jet black hole, other than all the colorful environment that's like kind of pouring in around you. And you guys dive basically into what is pitch blackness, and you fall for quite a while between, the wings kind of giving out. You're still levitating and like flying to some degree, but there's nowhere to fly to. And you guys also hear this. Yeah.
I have Devil's Sight, so I can see in like magical darkness up to 120 feet. Would I still be able to see anything? I'm human. I need to give myself dark sight.
No, that's great. No, it's strange because if there was something here, you'd see it, but there's nothing here.
All right.
Right? And so you have that motive like, I have a thing and I should be seeing stuff, but I don't see anything. But you do see Celts join you guys. As the rest of the cliff like washes in, you guys see from the hole above you the small body of this halfling rogue begin to tumble your direction, and you fall at an
towards him. But it's up to Ari if he wants to grab him.
Oh, you want to grab him, Ari, as he falls?
Yeah, I'll give it a go. I'm already carrying 2. I can't make it a 3rd.
Yeah, why not?
Dex.
We would just
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this is the 4th one tonight from just me.
Oh man.
Let alone everybody else who's had ones. What is with it today?
There's been no sign of Finbar. You're not sure if he got sucked in or was exploded in the run towards the cliff, but Finbar is in fact nowhere to be found. And as you guys, you miss the Celts as he there's not even you don't even anywhere close to him. You don't know if it's your depth perception or what. Yeah, you poke him in the eye as he falls. Yeah.
Thanks, Tori.
Now you know what it's like to be poked.
And something strange happens. You guys almost hit, I wouldn't say the top surface of the water, but almost water in the blackness engulfs you. Fills in the way it would in like a bathtub if you were at the bottom of it. And it everywhere. Now you guys are like in water. And something about 25 feet in front of you begins to like throb this reddish umber color. And it begins to add light to the space. And in front of you is what can only be described as a fetus. Attached via an umbilical cord, as if you two are sharing the wound with it.
Right.
Am I still flying? Do I still have the I don't know how many minutes
No.
we've been falling.
I was about to say you can technically still fly, but you're actually floating in water. You've been engulfed in like a fluid of some kind.
So I can kind of propulse myself as if like a motorboat.
Yeah,
All right.
and you can get a little close. You're not terribly far from it.
I would just look at Ari because I presume since we're in water, we can't really talk. And I'm just here like, do you want to go closer? He just shrugs and just keeps going closer.
Yeah, and you guys can, if you want to get closer, you easily can swim over. It's a pretty, I would say, small, at least in comparison to the spaces you've been in thus far. The kind of fetus creature is abnormally large. You know, like what a fetus is usually like this big, maybe.
Mhm.
This is the size of a car. It's 6 or 7 foot. It's this huge fetus that's attached via some giant umbilical cord off into the distance.
I'm gonna swim up real close to it, and I'm just gonna start poking at it.
Sorry.
Poking
Yeah,
the fetus.
We let the halfling do what the halfling does best, poke things. And Ethelston is going to look for, yet again, that freaking birthmark. Their birthmark.
It's there.
on the fetus.
Brightest day, glowing this time, and a natural, like burning umber, as if it's a hot coal on its neck. The skull sits there, right on its neck, as the fetus baby sleeps.
Cut the umbilical cord and use a smite. Let's see what happens.
And the umbilical cord just goes off into
It goes off. You're actually like part of like the womb or whatever that this is in. There are walls, if you would. It's I would say in totality it's probably 50 or 60 feet top to bottom. The room, or the room, if you would, that you're in is kind of spherical, as if you're swimming in a bowl.
So he's seeing a pattern here that whatever room or whatever thing we're in, when we destroy this ball-marked creature person, it brings us to the next trial, or so to speak. So he is going to do that. He's just going to swing this warhammer and try to destroy this umbilical cord that is attached to the fetus.
So unfortunately, you are underwater, so it's going to take a little extra strength. So I'll actually let you choose. You can either make a strength check prior to rolling the attack, or you can take the attack at disadvantage.
I'll do the attack at disadvantage. That seems like it makes more sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Okay.
So 12.
Actually, a 12 is not too bad. You guys see him like, and the fluid you're floating in is thicker than water. It's more like, it's like oily and gross and just like, bleh. And you swing through it. He swings through it kind of at a slow pace as it comes down, and it's almost like slicing through butter with a hot knife. The umbilical cord frees itself and almost instantaneously becomes a vacuum. And begins to suck everything in. I need all of you to make a dex save.
Bugger! Wow! Oh!
Sucked up the umbilical cord. Nice. Nice.
Oh, wow. 17.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
We're starting to get used to
Plus
this. We're starting to
3.
get used
That's
to it.
19.
You guys have gotten all the bad. Okay. And you add 8 to it, is that right? So 13. So maybe it's because Kelts is a little bit smaller, I guess, in stature because he's a halfling, and it begins to suck him down first. And he's like swimming, and you're just managing to keep pace to not be sucked down, as it is sucking all the fluid out of the room. And finally, the room drains itself. You guys are able not to be sucked in, and you hit the floor because you were kind of floating in this almost fishbowl-esque spherical room. The fetus, in fact, also does not go anywhere. And the freed fetus plops to the ground in this gross, disgusting way right next to you guys. The floor is this like squishy, gushy, meaty, fleshy texture and feel to it. As you kind of, there's finally like air and you can breathe.
Is the room
So
still
as this
spherical in shape?
Yep, it's almost more like now that there's no water in it, it's more like a sack. It drags a little bit with the weight of this oversized fetus and the four of you.
So, dripping the stuff, he turns to the others and says, "Well, I don't have any other bright ideas.
Hit it with the hammer again. Just keep hitting it with that hammer of yours.
Just keep hitting the fetus with the
The number one
And
solution
when in
for
doubt,
any male to
bang
pick
it
anything,
out, you know.
Hit it. Hit it. So he does.
Bangers
It
and
sounds
mash,
good.
a whole
Alright.
new meaning.
So this time when you walk up to it, like it's actually like the whole room here wiggles as you like move. It's like trying to walk on the top of a trampoline. You know, you're just like, oh god, it gives and pushes. And as you get close to the fetus, as you rear back your hammer, its eyes splay open, and its body begins to contort and morph, and it becomes much more vile in its like presence, I guess you could say. And it actually begins to morph and shift. Their bile begins to like squirt out of its disgusting fetus baby mouth. Blood drips from the end of the umbilical cord as well as its orifices. And it begins to morph more into a blobbish creature than an actual human fetus. And we're going to go into initiative because you guys just woke up a Scribex.
Oh, yay! That's just my plan. That was the plan all along.
Just wake it up. No. It's also gonna roll because it gets a 10, but a huge disadvantage.
It's +3, so I'm at an 8.
All right, so here's what I'm just gonna go around and ask you guys to just quick call out your. It's just easier for me to call out your total. So Kelts,
8.
8 total. Ari,
Yeah.
19.
19. Denzel,
16.
is your cat a battle cat?
No, not
Okay.
combat statistics whatsoever.
It's
having a
just
very
it's
bad day.
clearly it's like trying to lick all the like fluid from inside this womb off of its like beautiful fur. Which is like a wet cat.
Floof is no longer poofy anymore. It's like a fully drenched cat. So it's just eyes and just a stick and just angry.
Giant eyes, and it's, you know, like they always look so sad when their fur's like wet. Yeah, yeah. Finbar's not with us at the moment, and Ethelston, what's your number?
2.
2. All right. So, this creature, the Scribex got okay, cool. It got an 8, but its dex is way lower than Kelt, so it will go after him. So, in order, Ari's gonna go first. Ari, you see this creature like boink, wake up and just like and morph.
Ari's going to pick up some of the gooey, fleshy, bloody substance that's on her feet and throw it at the eyes of this creature.
Okay. Then, so I'm gonna have you roll a ranged attack. So you use a dex. So roll 20 plus your dex.
Okay.
You're not proficient in womb fluid.
Move the
Nice.
20. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pick
you
it up
do
and
in
go
fact
top
hit.
the eyes.
And it lands like plop this gunk in one eye, and it like rears back, and even though it's kind of bulbous and blobby, it's like as it like it tries without arms to like shake free the vile fluid that you tossed in one of its eyes. It doesn't like that. I'm gonna say let's roll some damage because why the hell not? But we'll do it like it's a, you know, I give it a D4, 1d4 for
D4?
some yeah.
Some
for
good
fetus
old
fluid damage.
flesh on eye damage. Yeah.
At one
Okay,
point,
that was only a 1.
and it now squints with one eye, because well, it took some damage. So it doesn't like that very much, but not too much damage to it. And we move right along. Next up is Denzel. You also see the same
You
thing.
have finally annoyed it.
I
exactly.
I'd presume either at this point Ari let go of him now that the fly's effect is no longer there, or if not, he would let go of her and then use his movement, 30 feet movement, to get as far away from the thing as possible, and then cast Eldritch Blast at it.
Okay, great. Yeah, you're able to take a few steps back freely, so that's not a problem.
All right, so 5th level, it's going to be 2. Let's see. Is there a way to repeat that same roll? Because I have two blasts at 5th level.
No, you'll just have to type it in again. But the 25 does hit for sure. Nice. Damn it, dude. So the first one hits, but the second one does not.
All right. Ten force damage. I have agonizing blast, so I have my charisma mod.
Woohoo! 10 points. It doesn't like that. You guys see that like beam shoot out, and it kind of whacks it in the side. And as it does so, it actually tears off a piece of the flesh, which instantly begins spurting this kind of disgusting bile and vomit from the side of the morphed fetus. All right, cool. And we move right along. That puts us in line to... Actually, it's Kelt's turn, because you got before the Scrubix.
How close am I to starting my turn to this thing? Am I in melee range?
I would say that you'd have to move, but probably only about 10 feet or so.
All right, so I'm going to move into melee range, and I'm going to cast Blooming Blade.
Ooh.
And attack it with my short sword. And will I get sneak attack to stack on that too?
Yeah. Yeah, because he's in combat with other people, for sure.
Okay, so the short sword. Eight plus the to hit bonus is what I add to the attack, right?
Correct. So you would add your strength. Or your rogue to your dex. Your dex, I'm sorry. Your dex so and your proficient. Yeah, so okay, 16. So 16. Doesn't hit. Not enough. Damn.
All right.
Yeah, you just kind of miss. You're not sure if it's the disgusting bile or what that makes you miss, but it almost like wiggles out of the way just in time as you begin to bring it the sword down.
All right. Can I use a bonus action to disengage?
You sure can. Yeah, disengage. And you're able to like step back. How far back would you like to go?
Rest of my movement, so it's 10 feet to get there. I'll go back 10 feet.
Okay, cool.
Actually, no, you know what? I'll go 5 feet because I want to stay in melee range of it.
Okay, yeah, so you just managed to get just out of what basically is bite attack range from its like vicious teeth that begin to snarl as you attacked it.
All right, cool.
This is where it's going to get fun. It's now its turn. I need... yeah, it's going to be Kelt, and Denzel attacked it, and Ethelston, you were the first to try to attack it with your, like you walked up to it, so you're there. So I need the three of you to make a Constitution saving throw. Needs to be high.
It's not going to.
Oh, man. I was looking for a 20. If you did not make the 20, something strange begins to happen.
Oh, wow. Holy crap.
Wow, you did make it. Holy shit. Okay, cool. Yeah, it
Nat 20. Beautiful.
Yeah, the other people, you start to feel it. Your body begins to get that, you know that feeling before you go to vomit? Where you're like, oh, I don't feel so good. I'm getting hot and sweaty. And you're like, what is that? What is that? You get the same feeling, Denzel, but you're able to like subdue it exponentially. And it's basically using something called warp creature on all of you. When you failed, you are now poisoned, okay? Which, you know, you're going to become exhausted from those kind of things, but that's not really helpful here. You have to repeat the saving throw at each of your turns. Okay, great. So for another level, okay. So each of you are gaining basically one level of exhaustion every time you fail. So at the top of every round, or is it your turn? I should check that. Okay. at the start of each of your turns. So each of your turns, you got to make another save. If you fail it, you start to take these points of exhaustion. Your body literally is becoming physically exhausted just being in the presence of this creature. And if you get 6 levels of exhaustion, you actually become an abysmal wretch, which serves it. You physically mutate and morph. So the 3 of you just kind of, I don't know if you want to keep a tab. I'll kind of do it next to your names, but each of you that did not make it will be taking one of these points of exhaustion, which I think is a really cool thing. And because it's a legendary creature, we're also going to take a legendary action, because why wouldn't I? It's going to squirt bile all over you. Everybody in range. And it gets 3 of those, in fact. So it just, like, basically, you see these strange, like, porous places on the body open up, and it's almost like poking holes in a water balloon and squeezing it. Bile just, like, squirts out in all directions. So I need everybody in range of it. So within 120 feet, which is all of you, to make another dexterity saving throw. Oh. Oh no! Oh, a lot of you are in so much trouble. Okay, so, oh man. You all take 10d6 damage. At 48 points, it just covers the inside of this, like, fetus sack with bile and disgustingness. Begins to fill up. Who is down?
How many points of damage?
I'm down.
48.
That was already my max HP, and I already had 7 points of damage done.
Yep. So all of you, it just, like, squirts you with this disgusting bile as all of you... Oh, thanks for the raid, you guys. You just get to witness a TPK. Congratulations for making it in time. They're actually a level 5. So... This Scribex basically begins to, like, mutate your bodies. It sprays this disgusting squirting bile everywhere inside of this sack, basically, that you're all in, and it begins to fill the room as all of you go down. It absorbs each of you one at a time, eats you alive, your dead bodies, as it morphs back into its fetus shape, and its umbilical cord grows back out, connects itself back up into the ether somewhere, and feeds each of your dead bodies through the umbilical cord and out somewhere off into Bhaal's dominion. As each of you kind of wake up from this, it's very strange. Celts, because you've been here and you've done this before, you know that usually when Bhaal, like, respawns you, you show up with full health, ready to go again, because he wants to kill you over and over and over again, right? This time when you wake up, you still hurt and ache. Parts of your flesh are missing from the bile that ate it away. Each of you have a single hit point that has been gifted back to you. As you kind of wake up in this, like, blurred, unconscious state, being dropped from a tube in a wall, with slimy and disgusting, and you plop out on this floor. It's a strange floor. Ari, you've seen it before. It's kind of like white, clean tile. You wake up in a medical room. It's very sterile, and laid out on a table are 3 of the unnamed birthmarked men. Wait, say that again, Arya. You were muted. Are you with us, Ari?
Oh, I was just whispering it under my breath of, like, oh,
the birthmarked men.
I saw him. Birthmarked men.
And the room you're in has a door. It's a small room. Like I said, there's kind of the tube in the wall that fed you into it. And these 3 men lay out, kind of slabbed on a table. They have been cut open and flayed back as if somebody is dissecting them like a frog in a high school lab. There's nobody in the room, but all three of them, like I said, look completely identical.
Is Ari
Did they
still
have anything
pregnant?
on them?
Yes, to Ari, say that again, Kilt.
Do they have anything on them, or have they been stripped down like they would be in
stripped down.
kind of?
Yeah, they're clearly being experimented on.
Anything else in the room besides the tube, or does the lighting look weird in here or anything?
It's a strange lighting you've not seen before. It's kind of a metal box that flickers with a strange fluorescent light over it, adding this eerie yellow glow to the room. The wall behind the headboards, if you would, of the medical slabs is full of jars and scalpels and medical equipment, if you would. Not necessarily electronic medical equipment, but you know, the general things you would use: bottles, pills, alcohol swabs, those kinds of things. And the door, as you're kind of inspecting it and looking it around, the door to the room eeks open.
Ari's going to
open
start
in towards us?
side-saddling
It does open in.
behind someone.
I'm gonna tuck against the wall where the door is, so when the door opens, it'll be shielding me from whoever comes in.
Yeah. Why don't you roll a stealth? Because that's what you're trying to do, is like hide, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Anybody else want to do anything before somebody makes a grand entrance?
Yeah, I think Ethelston would channel some radiant energy through his body, healing himself. So he would kind of glow faintly with this silver radiance.
Oh, cool.
And some of the wounds that he had would heal, but not all of them.
Yeah, you definitely feel better, because I'll tell you, a lot of you are just like, you're weak, both from the exhaustion that you took from the creature, as well as having only a single hit point after being basically TPK'd. And Celts, you do in fact, just like, you guys watch the halfling behind the door as it swings open, and there stands in silhouette of a woman. It's kind of gangly and tall. She's dressed in these white robes, one that covers her hair and one that covers the entirety of her body. But most notable is what sits on her head, which is in fact scalpels and scissors and medical equipment that adorn her head almost like a crown, and been jammed in. Her mouth is sewn shut, and you can see her eyes are red from blood that sits on the cusp of her eyelids. And as she doesn't say anything as she swings the door open. She stands there staring into the room, looking at all of you. She walks straight over and goes to the first body and begins continuing whatever she was working on to begin with, as if you guys aren't even there.
Ethelston doesn't say anything. He turns, and behind him is, I assume it's Ari hiding behind him. And he would just kind of wait for her to follow him, and he's going to start moving towards the open door.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. She looks at you, and you hear her almost laugh as you exit behind her to go deeper into whatever place that you're in. She doesn't stop you, but she does watch you leave.
I'm going to be on Ari's tail then. As soon as they leave the doorway, I'm coming around and going to follow them out.
Denzel, what would you like to do?
First question. When Kilt and I were looting all the daggers in the fire bombs of flaming men, insert jokes here, how many daggers was he able to snatch?
Why don't we do this? Kilt, since you were snatching them, why don't you roll me, rightfully speaking, how many could you have picked up? Why don't you roll me 2d6? We'll just say that's how many you managed to pick up. 1d6. Ooh, wow.
The count censored.
So you managed to get, 10. In fact, he picked up about 10 of these daggers in the exploding body rainstorm.
You want me to roll 2d6 as well, or we're just taking
Yeah,
the same
yeah,
number?
because if you pick some up too, no, if you pick some up outside of him, you too would have rolled 2d6.
All right.
For the record, too, I want all these daggers I found to be on the inside of my cloak, so that if someone wants one, I gotta pull it out like this, not hanging there like the watch guy. Yeah.
So that's 6 plus the 1 he took from Mage Hand. So what he's going to do, just as an experiment, because he's seen all this medical equipment and cutting up, and because I presume everyone else has left by now, so it's kind of just him left in the room. Curiously, he takes out one of the knives and puts it next to where the nurse has her old medical equipment lying up, where it's all the surgical blades. Like, here's another knife for you, and just leaves.
You set it next to her, and you hear something as you begin to exit. The sound of her cutting, the stitching on her mouth. And she says, "Where did you get this?"
It fell from the sky, quite literally. Consider it a gift. Have a nice day, night. I don't really know what time it is. Enjoy. And then he walks out the door.
I was about to say, she picks it up gingerly and holds it close to her breast. And then you hear the sound of metal on metal as she stabs one of the flayed bodies, and you hear the ping of that metal piece into the metal table he sits on. And the four of you now stand in what can only be described as a rundown, disgusting medical facility. Probably an asylum, or something that's meant to replicate an asylum. The hallway goes far to your left, far to your right, and there's door after door after door after door after door as far as the eye can see. It's almost disorienting.
Silent Hill-ish. Especially with the nurse.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ari's just going to give up, sigh, and start walking towards that.
Just start walking. Are you going to go left or right? Does it matter?
Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Left.
No.
We're going to go left.
Yeah, Ari, you start left. And you're walking. And you're walking. You're walking. And you guys walk for about 10 minutes. And never find the end of this hallway.
Well,
It's just doors, none of these rooms have windows.
From what you can tell, they're closed off. Do you mean, like, do the doors have windows? Because all the doors are closed.
Yeah. Any way to peek into what's beyond the door besides opening it? Like the little...
Each of the door... Yeah, each of the doors have a slide.
Okay, so I want to go up to the first door, the nearest door to me, and slide that open and see. I don't know, am I tall enough to get up there to see, or can I like hold on to the thing and try to climb up?
Yeah, that's what you managed to do. You like slide it and you like pull yourself up, and your little eyes peer in, and in the corner sits a familiar person.
Oh, it's gonna be that
holding
guy.
himself and shaking. And he looks, and you can see that look of fear in his eyes as he turns and makes eye contact with you through the small slit in the door.
Is there any writing on these doors?
Good question. Why don't you roll a perception?
Ooh.
And I was about to say, I can't even tell if we've hit our count yet. I feel like we're so close to a viewer decision.
Only like 2 retweets away. And 4 followers.
So, for those of you that have joined us, if you don't know, we are 2 tweets away. Here, I'm going to put this. 2 tweets away. That link right there will send you to Twitter. If you retweet that tweet and we hit over 20, we get what is known as a viewer decision. Where, in fact, here at the end of the game, all of you are going to get to... I'm going to toss out a question, you get to toss out an answer, and one of them will be picked via a vote. So,
19 perception.
19 perception, yeah. You notice a few things. with a 19 perception. Yes, there's writing on all of the doors. It's all different. There's like some kind of plaque or something, or like piece of paper that they slide in and out as if it's an ever-changing way to label the doors. This one is labeled. Yeah, go ahead.
I said I have Eyes of the Runekeeper as my third Eldritch invocation, so I can read all writing.
Oh, great! Yeah, it's not hard to see. It is in some kind of infernal. Okay, so you're able to read it, and it is a single letter, E, and the one next to it says SE. The one next to it says ID.
I would read these aloud as I'm just glancing at them to the party.
And he points them out, and you guys kind of see what he's talking about. I don't know if you can read the infernal, but it does. Oh, you guys want me to show you something really cool with Fantasy Grounds? Watch this. I can do this. I know I can do this. Yes! You guys see this mark on the door? Yeah, that's infernal for the record. Oh, yeah, Check this out. Then you see this one. Right? And then you see...
yeah,
sorry,
I don't speak infernal, really.
And there's another one. Yeah, and if you don't speak infernal, you just see these markings on the door. Yeah, we hit it! We hit the retweet. So, you guys see these markings on the door. They get to one door that has no marking on it. The question that you get to answer, chat, is, what is exactly in this room?
Thin bar.
Yeah, what is in here? I guess I'll let's see. I'm not sure we've got anybody. So the here's how this works. The viewer decision, or the question is, what is in the unmarked room? What is in the unmarked room? Toss out your decisions with this tag in front of it, VD. And I'm gonna I don't know how to set up all the snazzy stuff.
Oh, do you want me to do the straw poll for you?
Yeah, if you would toss that together with some, I don't know, pick a few of them, Ari, as we get this together. Dungeon Master from the cartoon, you guys are killing me. So yeah, you begin to notice these things, and you guys can slip open a few more, and you once again, you see over and over the same dude with the same ball birthmark basically on his neck, but each of the rooms are labeled differently.
Ethelstan is just confused by this. He's frustrated. He probably slams the last slide shut when he sees just yet another one of this man. And he would turn to Kelts and say, "What do you think this all means?"
Nothing here makes sense. The only thing that makes sense is that nothing here makes sense. The guys in every room, they're doing
I
the thing
figured that much out.
Right? They're all just doing they're rocking the quintessential crazy guy in the corner, just no variation at all between room to room.
And as you slam that last one shut, you hear from the inside of that room in particular, the man runs and slams himself against the door and matches you in that energy. And you can hear him on the other side say, "Somebody's there. Who are you?" I guess it's more.
Is there a way that I can open the door?
It looks to be, you can open it from the outside. There's like one of those like turn handles on it that like seals it shut from the outside.
Yeah, so Ethelstan starts twisting this wheel to unlock this door.
Nice. And as you do so, he almost falls on you, both out of exhaustion and frail, just like he's frail. It seems that he has been tortured. Probably some kind of shock therapy, but he's got cuts all over him. And he's like breathing heavy. He's like, "Have you come to save us?"
Ethelstan would say, "I've come to save you. You'll come with us."
Okay, but we should hurry before they come back.
Do you know the way out?
Good, both good questions, which I will answer. Everybody in chat, there's the straw poll. Thanks to Madam Gandalf. Click that link, make your vote. You've got literally like 2 minutes to make it happen, so get those votes in. All right. So Kelts, you asked who, and what was yours?
Does he know the way out?
He says, well, way out. I don't even know how I got here.
Under his breath, he says, "I'm not surprised."
And he looks at the halfling, and he says, "Who?" He says, "The nurses. They are experimenting on us. They think that we're some manifestation of a broken down god."
A broken down god.
Yeah, that's all I know. That they said something bad happened. They're trying not to panic, but everything they said's a mess. It's not right. Everything's not right. And he starts like rocking and kind of like crying again. It's broken. It's broken. Everything's broken.
This is what happens when you shatter a psyche.
I'm gonna not one of the replicated daggers that I found in the field, but I'm actually gonna take. Well, actually, you know what? No, Denzel has it. I'm gonna take one of the daggers we found in the field.
Yeah, I have the first one that we found.
Okay.
I want to take it, pommel side to him and hand it to him, put it in his hand, and like try to like, here, you're gonna need this, and I give him the dagger to see if he has any response to it.
He goes, my dagger. Where did you get this?
That's not important. Just keep it.
Okay. And he kind of pulls it close to his chest, and he's like, so well, if we go that way, and he points the opposite direction you guys were walking, he's like, there's the experiment room.
Oh, and that sounds like a friendly place. It's like going to Disneyland.
I agree.
What's Disneyland?
Experiments are fun.
It's a place where dreams come true.
It's a place with long lines and overpriced things.
Yeah,
horrible.
Wow, that sounds like the Galleria Grundrundi. No,
If only.
He kind of looks around. He says, what do we do? We can either go this way or we can go this way. I don't know the way out. They usually just carry me. So
let's head for the experiment room. That sounds like a good time. Let's go there.
Well, I'm gonna wait outside, okay? Because he's like, I spent too much time in there anyways. Oh man, the votes are coming in. I'm gonna give it one more minute before we officially make this so. And he says, well, okay, quickly. And he kind of begins to pitter-patter down. And you hear as this manifestation, if you would, or this gentleman walks in front of you, every time he passes a door, you hear the of a fist on the opposite side. Not to be let out. And he starts running.
I almost feel tempted to, like, let everyone out as we're making our way back down.
Okay, yeah. So
the first time one starts banging, he stops, thinks about it for maybe a split second, and then he just lets. And
I'm going to go down the other side, parallel to him, and release the other side. Let them all out.
Great, yeah. And
Ari's going to be walking down, like shaking her head, like this can do nothing good.
Yep.
No good.
They all are gravitating towards Ari anyway, aren't they? They want to be close to Ari, so they're going to just kind of be like...
Yeah,
Misa!
So the first one, the one that was kind of leading the way, stops, and as he hears one door open, he goes, what are you doing? You don't know what's in there.
It's okay, just keep leading us where we need to go. Take us to the room.
And you open the door, and more of these identical human men with this birthmark pour out of the room, even though all of their rooms are labeled differently, and they do all seem to be drawn to Ari. They come out and go, oh wow, you're so beautiful. Can I touch you? Let me touch it. And they're kind of like following behind, wanting to touch Ari's belly. I'm guessing you're kind of
personal bubble.
And they do this horde. I'd say you probably guys let 20 or 30 of them free before you make it to the room. And when the horde of them realize where you're going, they stop 10 feet from the door. And the one that was leading you stops and gestures. He goes, it's that one.
Is it the one we came from?
It's a different door. And we're going to call that. Let me refresh this straw poll here and see what our final vote was. Okay, cool. All right, cool. You go down to this room. Does anybody want to open the door? There's no window on it. It's a solid, like, steel medical door.
Sure. Yeah, I'll open the door.
Oh, wait.
After all, I'm trying to, like, get away from these people.
Uh-huh.
Before you open the door, one thing that I think Ethelston would do is he would touch each of them and heal them just a little bit, each for 5 hit points.
Great.
Yeah,
so you guys
something like that
find,
that I kind of wanted to do also.
Okay, cool. Go ahead then. Now's the perfect time.
So with all these clones, is there anyone that seems like there's like an alpha clone? Or like the one we've been talking to? Is it just because we interacted with him first?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
they all seem to be like dressed in the same like ratty clothing. I mean, literally these like copies of each other.
So since I gave the one the dagger, I want to cast protection against good and evil,
Okay.
and keep him. It makes him, I guess, like he can't be feared. Like removes fear from him. Apparently, my D&D
okay.
Beyond just crashed. So
That's
I don't
okay.
know now, but.
Tell me again, what was the spell? I can quick look it up here.
Protection
with all my special stuff.
against good and evil.
So protects him from fear, right? What about ongoing fear that he's already feeling?
Yeah, so let's just quick look at this. Yep. Grant several benefits. Creatures of these types have disadvantage on attack rolls. So are you casting protection? Do you have to call it, or is it either? Such is protected against certain types of creatures. Okay, got it. Aberrations, celestials, elementals, face, fiends, and undead. Okay. So here's what happens. It's very strange. You go to cast this. Are you casting it on the group, or are you casting it on the clones?
Probably just on the one, because I think it just says one creature, one willing creature.
Okay.
So the guy that I gave the
Yeah. You cast it on him, and he literally screams out in pain. Ah! Because, Ethelston, you know from what you've witnessed early in the game that this thing is pure evil. This adorable baby-faced human man is 100% the purest form of evil.
Do the others react to this?
Yeah, everybody else goes, oh, please don't hurt us. Oh my God, we're so sorry. And they like cower away from this halfling as Ari creaks the door open. And you peer into what is absolutely 100% a torture chamber. Chains hang from the ceiling. There's some kind of shock therapy machine sitting in the middle of the room. But more important than all of this are the 4 people chained to the wall. There is a male half-elf rogue, pregnant, that looks so much like Ari it hurts. There's a female halfling rogue chained right next to her, frail, looks like is malnourished and hasn't been fed in a while, and she's missing an eye. But Celts, you cannot deny how close the two of you look, as if you could be twins. Denzel, the same thing. You look in the room, and there is a female human warlock with a cat on her head, except this cat is white. And last but certainly not least, Ethelston, you look in the room, and there is a beautiful Asmere woman sitting there. She's definitely a paladin, just based on her presence alone. And all of them sit chained to the wall, and they look up at you and make eye contact. These duplicates, these gender duplicates of yourselves. And the, I guess, male Ari looks up and he says, "What have we done? It's our fault."
Excuse me, I'm pretty sure I'm me. And you're not me. I'm me. I have control over me. What's your name?
Ari. Ari. Yep, just Ari.
Can I insight him?
Yeah, you can roll an insight.
Ethelstan's not waiting. He moves past the others and goes to try to release the other Asimar.
Yeah, you walk in, and as you go to release, she says, "Don't. Don't.
Why not? Don't you want to be free?
We are never free in this place. Don't you know where we are? All we've done is freed Bhaal. We've broken him into pieces." And she starts to kind of like cry and break down. And she says, "They made us. They created us from all of your bodies." And she rips her blouse open and shows where they've been seamed together. Like Frankenstein's, like the Frankenstein monster. And she says, "They took us every time you died and took a piece and put us together. We have a bigger purpose, a larger purpose."
He's speechless. He's probably taken a step back, and he would look back at the others. He doesn't know what to do. Usually he knows what to do, but he's been lost this whole time.
Kelts, what did you roll for again? Remind me.
I was just because the way he, it was
insight,
11.
Just a flat 11.
I can't remember what my modifier was.
You can't imagine that. You can't imagine that he would lie to you in the state that he's in. The Asmir woman seems to be very, very honest, so you can only imagine that he too is honest about kind of like who he is. It's actually the human warlock, the female warlock, that gets up off the floor and extends her chains as far as I'll let her go, and she says, "Leave this place. Put the essence of him back in their cages and run."
Here's the thing. I don't like me, so I definitely don't like you. And if that cat is like the rest of you, that's abuse to animals. And I may have no standards whatsoever, but you don't hurt fluffy things. So, excuse me. And he just turns around and leaves.
yeah, you go to exit the room. And in fact, on your way out, you bump into one of the nurses. She stares down at you. She's unnaturally tall. She looks down at you, her eyes shielded by the piece of white fabric she wears over her head, but drenched in blood from where the medical tools have been inserted into her skull. She pulls a pair of scissors out, slits her mouth open, and says, "Welcome. Don't you like what we've created?"
Not really. Oh, by the way, there's a halfling rogue in there that has a bunch of daggers you're looking for. And then he continues walking past them.
She's gonna stop you. In fact, I'm gonna need you to make an opposed strength.
Yeah, I don't think I can beat that at all. Unless I get, no.
Yeah, she's unnaturally strong. Like, you go to walk past her and she stops you by putting her hand on your throat and she says, "I didn't say you could leave. You've just gotten here. We have so much to show you." And she turns around, like her head turns and looks at Ari, and she says, "And you, it's almost time. Your friend is already here, prepped for his birth." And
how far away is her head turned?
I mean,
did her head turn 180 degrees around?
No, because that would have been like behind her. It turns like off to the right where Ari is.
So can she still see Denzel, essentially?
Oh yeah, like she's got you. Yeah, she can. I mean, she can see you out of her peripheral, I would say.
All right, Denzel's going to cast invisibility on himself.
Okay, she still got you by the throat, but she can't see you anymore. She still grabs you, and she laughs and says, "Funny, funny warlock." And she looks back at Ari and says, "Now come." And when she snaps her fingers, a door, I wouldn't say appears, but actually inserts. The stone wall sets back and opens up, and you can see that there's a much larger room on the opposite side. And she says, "Please, your friends are waiting."
I was gonna do the cartoonish like gulp
Yeah.
and walk slowly into the room, clutching at her belly.
It is, in fact, a pretty empty room, except for multiple beds that have these strange stirrups on the end of them, something to strap your feet into. And laid out, sleeping on one of them, is our lovely Derek, who has been kind of missing. His belly is huge with triplets. It throbs with their essence. The rest of the room has 4 beds. They are empty. But in the corner sits one of our nameless friends in his black, ripped up clothing, dagger at his side. He turns and looks at all of you and reaches for his face. And you watch him as he pulls and tears the flesh off his face. And from underneath, you see a familiar face. That of Bhaal. His skeletal face shows. And he smiles and says, "Thank you for freeing me." And that is where we end today's episode.
Why is it I feel that this isn't going to be a good thing that he feels free? No!
I mean, you guys killed it. Oh, you killed his, what I said, the id, ego, and super ego? You scattered him across this dimension. All right.
Then you
first
erased
off,
all the parts out.
yeah, and you've basically, like, yeah, it's just a mess. You guys have created a mess.
Oh god, it's starting like everything is new to him again. It's a world of wonder and mystery.
Whole new world.
Whole new world. Bhaal standing there with his fleshy face, actually mortal face in hand. So let's go around to cast and crew. So that is the end of today's episode. For those of you that rated and stuck with us, thank you. For those of you that have been here and dropped in and come and gone, thank you. We love to do this so that you can sit in and watch. This has been the Trials of Bhaal, which is a homebrew campaign I've worked up for the viewer game here on Encounter Roleplay. In fact, if you can play on this game and join us. That's why we call it the viewer game. So you can go check out the website. I actually think there's some kind of command for it, but I can't remember. I'll see if I can't find that. So yeah, I'm Chelsea. Most of you may know me as Little Red Dot. I frequent Twitter, so if you want to check out my schedule, I play on all kinds of channels. I keep it up there. You can also check out, thank you out there, it's Play. You can hit that link right there, bit.ly/play D&D, and it'll link you so you can get signed up to join the viewer game and sit right here at the table. Yeah, you can catch me online in a few places. I'm here every Thursday. I play again with Encounter Roleplay over on Wizards of the Coast channel on Saturdays for Learn by Play. Every other Monday, I'm with Nerd Immersion going through the Princess of Apocalypse. Every Wednesday, you can catch me in the North by Northwest podcast. I DM our side quest episodes, and I play as a major character in our main storyline. And I officially, as of this Saturday, will be joining the cast of Roll For It. We'll be doing a World of Darkness campaign called Just Around the Corner, where we're a bunch of mortals trying to figure out the paranormal stuff that's been happening in our suburban town. I will be playing an 80-year-old woman named Ida Mabel. So that starts up this Saturday. So I play a ton of tabletop role-playing games. So you can check me out. Check out my Twitter. I also have a Twitch channel where I do Sunday Fun Days, which are RPG days. You can sign up for those. Kelts will actually be joining me for the one at the end of the month. So you can tune in and check us just playing through some crazy high fantasy one-shots. So I'll drop some links here, but I'd love to go around to cast and crew. You guys, let us know what you thought of today's game and where, in fact, we can find you online. And let's start with our cast member, Madam Gandalf.
Every week, Chelsea. Every week. I never know what to expect, ever. I think this has been the most unpredictable campaign I have been in, ever. But it's beautiful. A lot of like violence towards babies. I swear that no real babies were harmed in the making of this campaign. No, we've like ripped fetuses out of our own bodies. We were looking at drowning a baby earlier today before using it as a baseball. So it's been a lot of baby Bhaal fun. Really, thank you so much, Chelsea. I have a lot of fun playing this and going through the ridiculous scenarios that are created not only by you but by the beautiful viewers of Yay, meet your doppelgangers, or your clones of sorts. But yeah, my name is Madam Gandalf. I play Ari, and I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch. I do a bunch of everything from cooking to a whole plethora of games, and I also do a D&D on Wednesdays, Witcher Wednesdays. We do a D&D game based in the Witcher universe. I also play D&D here every Thursday, and I also do a podcast every Saturday called the Jackass Podcast, where we talk about news happening in the video game world, internet world, and a lot of Twitch news as well. So yeah, come on by the Green Dragon, guys, and have a drink on me.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming to hang out as usual. Oh, and look, you got the quote. Dead inside is my fetish. Brilliant. Well, next up on my screen is actually the Celts. The Celts, why don't you tell us if you enjoyed today's game and where we can find you, man?
Oh yeah, I had a blast. It was very fun. Thank you, everybody. It was really a good time. I'm not really anywhere. I'm on Twitter. I kind of lurk everywhere. Usually have something snarky to say about something or another, but I've the Celts at Twitter. I do like some like minis painting and stuff like that usually, but that's just kind of my go-to free time waster is watching everyone play these games and playing them when I can. And yeah, no, it was a great time. I had a lot of fun. Nice and twisted. I like that kind of stuff.
Super twisted. Yeah, it was funny. After last week's like shenanigans where the viewer decision like threw everything off, I literally took everything I had written for the storyline and like wiped it. I was like, well, we're going a whole new direction today. So yeah, I was like, how crazy can I make it? What can I get away with? That's what I ask myself every Thursday when I come to this. What can I get away with?
Well,
Will has not yet told me.
You came through.
No, Will hasn't told me I need to back off yet. So anyways, but yeah, no, thanks for coming out, Celts, and I definitely look forward to playing with you for some Sunday fun days at the end of the month.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Next up on my screen is Odium Scribe.
I had a blast. I've watched all the Galerium episodes you did, and I thought they were beautifully sadistic. So when I saw this, and I saw you were doing it, I said, oh, I definitely have to watch this. And I'm just laughing. And I said, you know what? I definitely need to try being this. And I am in, and it's been a pleasure. Awesome. You can find me on social media as the Odium Scribe. I jokingly say the Twitter profile is only made as if it's Denzel tweeting somehow in the modern day world. So the description is lawful evil warlock.
Love it. I love that. Yeah, well, and yeah.
I also play, this is the only game I've done online, and on Saturdays, I do a local group that I'm the DM in. It's a pretty big group. We have about 10 people, so it's all fun.
Wow. I remember the one time I think we had 7. I was about to say, I think we had 7 one time on the viewer game, and I thought I was going to lose it. I was like, that is my 7. I told Wells, like, we can't go over 6 people. Chelsea just can't. I can't wrangle that many. And my own mind. Like, I can't wrangle 7 people and my own mind. No, but thanks. It's been great to play with you. And, it's nice. It's always nice to, like, see our chat. Like, people in chat have like they're a real person, like I so it's been nice to meet you, man, and get to play with you. All right, next up is Northeast Geek. How did you enjoy today, and where can we find you?
Wow, if you would have told me that I was going to baseball a baby in today's game, I would have said no way, but I did. and a lot of other bad stuff. So it was really fun. I really loved the creativity of this session. I didn't know what was going to happen next, but I loved every minute of it. I can be found on Twitter at Northeast Geek. I, on YouTube, am part of a gaming group called Dork Vision, so you can look us up there. I play in and run games there, and it was a blast. I would look forward to playing again. Thanks.
Awesome. Yeah, no, thanks for coming out, as always. And remember, if you want to come out and join us, you can actually do that by signing up. So check it out. Sign up. I don't know how full we are, but I know that some people signed up at the end of the Galleria and are just now getting into this one. So I guess there's like a waiting list. So yeah, get on that. Come join us. Roll some dice. Have some crazy, horrific shenanigans. I promise you. It'll be a good time. Well, until this time next week, I guess I'll see all of you on Saturday when you tune in for, I think, our next to the last episode of Learn by Play for this season. So get caught up on that. And until then, try not to roll too many nat ones because we want to be there laughing when you do. You guys have a good night. Bye. Bye. Is there anybody there to turn us off? Bye. Maybe not.
We're just gonna have to hang up.
I was gonna say,
This is where the real improv skill needs to come in.
I was about to
because
say, I'm thinking that
And
Will
fade to
doesn't
black.
actually have control. Yeah. Oh, there it goes.
There we go.
Yeah!